University of Miami, 1996 has been an up-and-down season. The Hurricanes stormed out to a 4-0 start. Then the winds calmed and the Canes could do no damage. Miami lost 2 in a row at home for the first time in 12 years. But the Hurricanes are blowing again. And with Ryan Clement fanning the breezes, the Big East crown is still theirs to win. Last year, Virginia Tech started the season at 0-2 and were facing Miami, a team they had never beaten. The Hokies came of age that day. A 13-7 victory was the start of a 13-game winning streak. The 1996 team is once again built around a strong defense and the strong arm of quarterback Jim Druckenmiller. It's Virginia Tech and Miami here on CBS. South Florida is under windy siege. 40-mile-an-hour winds are pounding the beaches, creating crashing surf and blowing sand all over the chic porches and patios of famous South Beach. But neither wind nor sand nor expected rain can deter the hardy tailgaters at the Orange Bowl. Inside the stadium, it looks like hurricane weather for the home team. A crucial Big East matchup, Virginia Tech at Miami. And here come the Miami Hurricanes. We called it a crucial Big East matchup, and here's why. Miami a half game behind leading Syracuse. Virginia Tech has already lost once. It's a must-win situation for them today. The weather, the winds are expected to reach gusts up to 40 miles an hour in what's being described as a tropical disturbance, and it will definitely be a factor in this game today. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim Ryan with Terry Donahue here at the Orange Bowl. Weather, wind, a factor, as we said. Terry, does it favor one team or the other?
Well, whenever you play into heavy wind, the team that can kick the ball the best and run it the best had the advantages. Coming into today's game, Virginia Tech has emphasized the run, the run, the run. Therefore, the edge has to be with them.
And Miami, despite losing twice this season, favored to win here today. They have beaten Virginia Tech 7 out of 7 at the Orange Bowl. What do they have to do to make it 8 in a row?
Well, Miami is averaging over 30 points and 400 yards a game behind their fiery quarterback, Ryan Clement. He has 3 of the fastest wide receivers in the country to throw the ball to, led by Yatil Green. Watch for them to isolate those wide receivers against the defensive backs of Virginia Tech. But remember, half the game they have to go into that win, and when they do, they better be able to find their running game.
Well, you know, Virginia Tech, even though they've got a 7-1 mark and they're the defending Big East champions, still one of the best-kept secrets in the top-ranked teams in the country.
They've won 17 out of their last 18 games. They lead the Big East in every offensive category. They have a huge offensive line, a good tailback in Ken Oxendine. They like to play physical, smash-mouth football. How well they can control the front of Miami will dictate whether they're going to be Hokies or Pokies today.
All right, the Hokey Pokey. I doubt that Michelle Tafoya is old enough to remember that dance, but let's join her down on the sidelines. Michelle?
We did it in kindergarten, Tim. Anyway, the grounds crew down here tells me that there is no wind gauge in the Orange Bowl, and that's pretty ironic when you consider how much and how often the wind blows. But they have seen fit to reinforce the stability of the goalpost by tightening all the necessary nuts and bolts. Of course, that won't keep the post from swaying. Now, as far as securing Miami quarterback Ryan Clement's separated left shoulder, head trainer Scott McGonigal tells me that they have removed all the restrictive apparatus that Clement had to wear in the last 2 games and replaced it with a simple silicone donut pad to protect the shoulder. They tell me his shoulder's about 98% healed. It's not his throwing arm, so the only real concern about Clement today is keeping him protected from a very physical Virginia Tech defense. Tim, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Michelle, we are ready to go here, and Virginia Tech won the coin toss and elected to kick off. You can see Miami leads this series 12 games to 1. The last time out, however, at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, it was the Hokies' time. 13-7, and they hope to prove they can win here at the Orange Bowl. Until the wind already into play, Terry, as Virginia Tech opting to kick off the football.
No question about it. Virginia Tech wants the wind early in this game. They want to be able to force Miami to have to run the ball. I think you're lucky when you win the toss in these kind of conditions because you're able to dictate at least the early part of the game.
Dangerous Tremaine Mack waiting to return the kickoff. He had 205 return yards in Miami's last game against Temple. Deep in the end zone with the wind, and he will just down that one. Miami will start from the 20-yard line. Ryan Clement brings on the Hurricanes, passing at 61%, 14 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. His rating of nearly 150 is 9th in the NCAA. Good game against Temple in the last outing, 15 of 28, 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wind in their face, the Hurricanes begin here at the Orange Bowl. Trent Jones, the running back. The lead blocker, Nick Williams, the fullback. Jones trying to get outside, is shut down. The ball came loose after the whistle. Tony Morrison, the linebacker, junior from Chesapeake, Virginia, made the hit. And here's a look at the rest of the Miami lineup. Jones, as we said, the starter. Williams, the fullback. Gator and Green, the wideouts. Chris Jones, a very good tight end. Blaze Mercier, Casey Jones, Mike Weiner, and Ina, the front.
Tim, Casey Jones is probably the best center in college football right now.
1-yard gain, 2nd and 9. Miami from their own 20-yard line, just over the 20. Good protection, the fullback Williams. All the way to the 47-yard line of Miami. Nick Williams, the sophomore, is the big guy. 270 pounds from Farmington Hills, Michigan.
The fullback in the Miami offense doesn't touch the ball very often running. Once in a while on pass receptions. This is just a little underneath route. Ryan Clement comes down to the fullback. He breaks a tackle, gets into the open field. Nick Williams is going to be a star if he continues that today.
26-yard gain for Miami and a first down. Hole for Jones. Miami wants to run the football, and they're off to a good start with that one. Johnson made the tackle. Defensively for the Hokies, Cornell Brown, their All-American a year ago. Waverly Jackson, Kerwin Hairston the tackles, and John Engelberger at the right defensive end. Semones, Morrison, and Newsom are the linebackers. The secondary, Johnson and Midget on the corners. He is in for the injured Antonio Banks. Frelo and Torrian Gray are the safeties. On first down, it is Jones again. Picked up about 4 yards in Hokie territory to the 39-yard line. Tony Morrison and Cornell Brown made the stop. 2nd and 7. This is the Virginia Tech bench where Jim Druckenmiller is getting ready for his first offensive series, and he's feeling the need to cool off, evidently, as if we didn't have enough wind. Jones is stacked up this time, and Brandon Semones made the tackle.
One of the challenges that Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator at Miami, has today is to try and attack the 8-man front of Virginia Tech. They have 8 people up on the front of the ball. Therefore, they're going to force you to throw oftentimes throughout the game. Larry has to be able to keep this Virginia Tech defense off balance.
Loss of a yard in the last play, leaving 3rd and 8. 35-yard line of the Hokies. Opening series. Clement hit from behind and sacked at the 40. Kerwin Hairston. Hairston in the spot normally occupied by the suspended Brad Baylor.
Kerwin Hairston, the defensive tackle, the right defensive tackle, just whips one-on-one against 62. Richard Mercier, he just beats him man on man. That's the kind of pass rush that Virginia Tech wants to get all day long.
Crosland's punt hung up in the wind and comes down at the 13-yard line, where the Hokies will have the ball for the first time. We are scoreless at the Orange Bowl.
You've been thinking about getting a digital satellite dish. And thinking some more. Well, think about this. The people at Radio Shack can answer your questions. Plus, now they've got great deals. Own an RCA brand DSS dish with programming for about $1 a day plus installation. Up to 200 channels of select movies and sports available on USSB and DirecTV. Think about it. Better yet, stop thinking about it. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Dear Mom, camp is rough. Being out in the wild sure makes a kid hungry. But the sandwiches we got just aren't enough. It makes me homesick for you and a hot bowl of Campbell's tomato soup.
Nothing turns an ordinary sandwich into a hot, satisfying meal like rich, wholesome Campbell's tomato soup.
Mom?
I brought you something for those sandwiches.
Wow, tomato soup. You're the best, Mom.
Campbell's makes everything.
Better. Unchain my heart. Baby, let me go. Unchain my heart. 'Cause you don't love me no more.
Eldorado Touring Coupe with the 300 horsepower North Star system. Isn't it time you live without limits?
Unchain my
To me, it's about people. I'm going to call them right now. It's being part of what they're going through and helping them to get through it. And seeing people at their best and yet seeing people at what probably is for them their worst and getting them through it. When you truly have a passion, whether it be for helping people or to get them through something, then that's what you need to follow. That's what you really need to follow.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
The shark is always lurking. Greg Norman hosts golf's biggest hitters at the Franklin Templeton Shark Shootout. Stay out of the water. Tomorrow on CBS.
Hokie quarterback Jim Druckenmiller makes his first appearance, passing at 54.5% on the season, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And leading out the Hokies offense, joined there by Ken Oxendine with 628 yards rushing to lead the Big East. Edmonds the fullback, White and Scales the wideouts, Jennings the tight end. Haygood, 2 Washingtons along with Billy Conity and Gennaro Di Napoli. First down, the fullback, senior Brian Edmonds. Nowhere to run, got maybe a half a yard.
Tackled by Marvin Davis.
Defensively, Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang with Fortney and Davis in the middle.
The key will be Fortney and Davis in the middle. They have to be the anchor points in that Miami front.
Russell, Burgess, and Coley the linebackers. Druckenmiller, first pass of the day, and with running room is Oxendine out of the backfield. First down, Hokies. To their 29-yard line.
Number 28, Oxendine.
13 career meetings against Miami. That stat is a little bit staggering. Only 13 touchdowns. Remember, they lost 12 in a row before winning last year at Blacksburg.
Well, Virginia Tech has not been successful against Miami, particularly here in the Orange Bowl.
First down. Oxendine picks up about 3, maybe 4 yards on the play.
Tim, Virginia Tech is running their no-huddle offense, which is traditional for them. They do this because they want to reduce the number of substitutions that come in from the defensive side of the ball. It also forces the defense to communicate without getting in a huddle. It puts stress and strain on them.
2nd and 7, play action fake to Oxendine, little screen out the short side, and another first down. Good-looking play from the Hokies. Shawn Scales takes it up to the 44-yard line of Virginia Tech.
We talked at the beginning of the telecast about the size of Virginia Tech's offensive line. They're about 305 pounds a man across the front. Very physical. They take good line splits. They run a lot of zone blocking plays. The key is to try to match up against those 305-pounders.
First down Hokies, their opening drive. Good fake by Druckenmiller, and he's on target. Here goes Scales. All the way to the Miami 22-yard line. Pulled down by Marcus Wimberly. Perfect fake and pass from Druckenmiller.
The key to play action passing is the fake by the quarterbacks and running backs. Druckenmiller has a great play action fake, puts the ball right on the money, well timed. Starks, number 23, misses a tackle. Scales takes it down the right sideline.
Starks going for the ball, tried to knock it away, and that cost him the opportunity to make the tackle. So one of those cornerback wide-out gamble plays, and the Hokies won this one. Oxendine for about 3 near the 20-yard line of Miami.
So far in this drive, what Virginia Tech thought they might be able to do, which is smash the ball right at Miami. They've been unsuccessful, but getting the ball outside on the perimeter, they've been able to move the ball effectively against Miami.
Courtney made the tackle there for the Hurricanes. 2nd and 9. It's just a gain of a little more than a yard. A little kind of an option look, and now to the end zone overthrown. Druckenmiller rushed the pass a little bit, and it got up in that wind. Intended for Shawn Scales.
Jim Druckenmiller is one of the strongest, most physical players on Virginia Tech's team. He can take any kind of hit that the Miami defense is going to lay on him, but Kenny Holmes right there makes him understand that they're going to try to put him into the turf all day long.
It'll leave 3rd and 9. Hokies. 23-yard line of the Hurricanes of Miami. Druckenmiller gets some time with the fake, and he connects to Scales. Scales has a first down inside the 10-yard line, pulled down by Tremaine Mack.
You talk about offensive line protection being a key, and a great route by Shawn Scales. Druckenmiller puts the ball right where he needs to. Tremaine Mack tries to make the play, misses the interception. The timing of that play-action pass was beautiful by Virginia Tech.
The Hokies threatening early first quarter here in the Orange Bowl. Pitch. Oxendine to the 2-yard line. Marvin Davis, the tackle. Earl Little, the cornerback, made the tackle.
We talked about smash mouth football by Virginia Tech. They want to establish a line of scrimmage. Ken Oxendine is a punishing runner. He always falls forward with his pad level.
Oxendine, 6'1", 220-pounder from Chester, Virginia, junior. Been bothered with a shoulder injury. Saw him miss 2 games earlier in the season. But he's back and leading the league in rushing. 2nd and goal. Oxendine stacked up by 4, maybe 5 Hurricane defenders, led by Rod Mack, along with Tony Coley, a pair of linebackers.
We talked about the offensive line of Virginia Tech. You're talking about 305 pounds a man, as physical as anybody in the country has. And when you factor the tight end in there as well, they're all up around 300 pounds. They are a big physical team.
Juan Russell, the injured Hurricane, on the last play. He was kind of the last of 5 Hurricanes to arrive at the tackle, and you can see him wincing in some pain. So we have a little timeout here.
Miami does not want to lose Juan Russell. He is one of the most athletic players on the defensive squad for Miami. He has the ability to play like a safety and a linebacker. This guy is truly an outstanding athlete.
Well, and he's their leading tackler. 86 tackles, 44 of them solos. So it is 3rd and goal. Jeffrey Taylor is in for Russell, number 58. You can see the numbers for Virginia Tech in here. They get him. A big hit on Oxendine. Chad Pegues, number 94, the sophomore from Gainesville, Texas.
Defensive coaches around the country try to talk to their team that when we get in the goal line area, we have more run defenders than they have blockers, and you can play good defense down there. That's a great example of Miami swarming the ball, outnumbering the offensive attack.
Pegues bringing some muscle down here on the goal line, a 280-pounder in the lineup. Fourth down. 4 of 8 they are on fourth down, converting. They need to get to the end zone. Oxendine dives for the touchdown. Ken Oxendine can vertical jump 35.5 inches. Right there's an example of why you want a guy that has spring in his legs. And look at Frank Beamer. Very impressive opening drive for Virginia Tech to be able to move down against that Miami defense. Freshman Shane Graham with a point after, and the Hokies grab the 7-0 lead. Ken Oxendine opens the scoring for the Hokies.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to reserve your seats.
Take a stroll down memory lane at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You crushed my knee. It was your toes. You broke my ribs.
It was your nose.
Ah, yes. I remember it well. You sacked me once.
I sacked you twice.
In pouring rain.
No, it was nice.
Ah, yes.
But when you go, don't forget your Visa card, because the Hall takes the NFL's best, but not American Express.
See ya, Nitschke.
It's Butkus.
Oh, yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I heard about this car that's supposed to be safe for you and your kids, but it's so expensive you probably couldn't afford to have kids and that car at the same time. How about a Chevrolet Cavalier? It comes with a safety cage, dual airbags, even standard anti-lock brakes. So for around $12,000, you really can get everything you want in a safe car, including kids. Who decided that only people who can afford expensive cars should be safe? Get the car that's easy to own, a Cavalier. Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust.
McDonald's new Crispy Chicken Deluxe with an all-white meat breast filet, fresh lettuce, and tomato on a bakery soft roll. It's a grown-up reminder that you're never too old to drool. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
How do you get this equipment to these troops when there's a river between them? Build a bridge. Problem solving. You need it now in college. Learn it now in the Army Reserve.
All that you can be.
Why was the CIA out to get this respected American diplomat? Maybe you can figure it out. He can't, and frankly, neither can we. His story Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Number 95. Kick off for the Hokies.
We are back at the Orange Bowl, where the Hokies went 86 yards in 12 plays, used up 5:09 with the win, and Ken Oxendine took it in from a yard out. Druckenmiller was 4 of 5 for 74 yards on that drive, passing. It was a good mix, and it resulted in the opening score. Line drive kickoff taken by Mack. Open field tackle, a flag down on the play, but it was Cody Whipple on the special teams for the Hokies with a great tackle.
Tim, going back to that opening drive by Virginia Tech, that was the first touchdown they've scored in the Orange Bowl since 1987, but it shows how important winning the toss was for Virginia Tech, because they were able to defer, take advantage of this win situation, and let their quarterback, Druckenmiller, throw into with the win the entire drive.
Right, and it was effective.
Back on the receivers, half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, Kibble got a real good kickoff. Mack tackled in the open field, but an illegal block by the Hurricanes drops them back to a first down at their own 8-yard line. So Miami with Ryan Clement starting deep. Northwestern on top of Purdue by 3. Notre Dame beating up on Pittsburgh. Clement, nice catch by Yatil Green, had to turn around to make that grab an outstanding catch.
Yatil Green may become one of the best wide receivers in the history of the University of Miami. This is what we talked about at the top of the telecast. Miami has an advantage with their wide receivers against Virginia Tech's defensive backs.
They've had such a lineup of outstanding receivers here. Green being counted among that elite group. Clement gives to Jones. Trent Jones shakes off one tackle and works his way to the 35-yard line. Good piece of running by the junior from Miami, Torrian Gray. Made the tackle, number 14, the safety.
I was impressed with Miami's opening drive. Although they didn't score, they certainly were able to move the ball against Virginia Tech. Now they're backed up way deep in their own territory. They're moving the ball once again effectively against the Virginia Tech defense.
Second down and 2 for the Hurricanes. Fullback Williams has some room. Blasts his way out for a first down, Miami. Let's get an update on the Georgia-Auburn game and take you to Pat O'Brien in New York. Pat?
All right, Tim, Georgia has evened the score now at 7 on this Patrick pass. 11-yard run. Pass replaced back Robert Edwards in the starting lineup today. Pass is a true freshman, and Tim, you might be interested, also a minor league baseball player. Good athlete. Back to you and Terry.
Thank you, Patrick. Miami moving the ball now on their second offensive series. They have a first down at their 43-yard line. Clement has hit 2 of 2 into the wind. This is Jones, a huge hole. First down, Hurricanes into Hokie territory at the 41-yard line. Gray brought him down. Miami needed a run, and they're showing they can.
Butch Davis wants to establish a running game. Nick Williams, 30, the fullback, made a key block that allowed Trent Jones to break this into the open field. That is what Larry Coker and Butch Davis really feel comfortable doing, trying to be balanced, trying to get the run going, as well as a good throwing game.
Miami rushing at 144 yards per game. And we have a timeout. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl with the Hokies leading the Hurricanes 7-0.
Genuine Chevrolet. Then and now, the cars more Americans trust. More Americans trust. Genuine Chevrolet.
I'm not everyone. I'm me. So when I decided to quit smoking, I did not choose that one-size-fits-all patch. I chose Nicorette gum. Nicorette has this flexible dosing schedule that helped me control my cravings. It let me use the strength I needed, the amount I needed, when I needed it. Nicorette was personal. It fit me. You know, me the non-smoker. Me.
Commit to quit for the great American Smokeout on November 21st. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
They are a new breed of individual investor, and their numbers are growing. They know the power of information, and they don't act on impulse. They go into a stock armed with facts, building portfolios for the long haul. For this new breed of investor, a major new resource from NASDAQ. Stock quotes, price performance, and soon, company news and personal portfolio tracking. Accessible instantly over the internet at NASDAQ.com.
This week, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, Reba McEntire, Heather Locklear, Yankee Derek Jeter, and Friday, Dave's in Miami with Pamela Lee and Jimmy Buffett, only on CBS.
The Miami coaches told us yesterday that they had to run the ball against 8 defenders in the box. This is an example of what they want to get established. Brennan Semones, number 21, the defensive end, came upfield too far. That allowed the crease, the kick-out block by Nick Williams, and the run by Trent Jones.
So the Hurricanes first down at the 42 of Virginia Tech. 4:23 to go, first quarter. Out for Jones. Jones made a one-handed catch, and picked up about 6, maybe 7 yards on the play to the 35-yard line of the Hokies. Pearson Prelo, number 20, made the tackle. 7-0. Virginia Tech on top. 4 minutes remaining. Miami, wanting to run the ball, has done it so far here in the first quarter. With 45 yards rushing. Virginia Tech with the win. Saw Druckenmiller hit 4 of 5 en route to their opening score. Jones again. Close to the first down. It'll leave third and very short. Tony Morrison, the linebacker, number 8, made the tackle, a junior from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Miami just wants to make sure they can be two-dimensional. They do not want this to become a one-dimensional game. When they rush for over 150 yards, they've got themselves a chance to win this ball game, Tim.
I'd say that's a real good chance. That's some record. 3rd and a yard. Miami. 2 wideouts to the left. In the I formation this time. Jones again, and he has the first down. Running behind the fullback, Nick Williams. Hurricanes will be 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Well, they're going to measure this. It would appear that they've got it from our view.
Miami is going to pick their spots when to throw the football into this win. They're going to throw the ball short like they did to the fullback, Nick Williams, underneath. Once in a while, go for a big play like they did with Yatil Green. But generally, they're going to play fairly conservative into this heavy wind.
It is a heavy wind. If you join us along the way, it is gusting up to 40 miles an hour, creating huge surf at nearby South Beach. Sand blowing all over the place down there, and threatening skies. No rain as yet. We may not get any, but we have high winds that are definitely a factor. Hurricanes trail 7-0. First down, 31-yard line of Virginia Tech. They sent Williams up on the wing. Quick pass inside for Green. He has a first down to the 18. Perfect little slant. Clement on the mark.
When you can isolate Yatil Green, look, watch his fingertips right there. A little nervous switch he has. When you can isolate Yatil Green against Lauren Johnson, number 12 for Virginia Tech, the advantage is for Miami. Yatil Green is virtually impossible to cover one-on-one for Virginia Tech.
Johnson, a sophomore from Miramar, Florida. Play here in his home state. First down, Hurricanes. Short drop from Clement. Clement on the mark, but it is dropped by Chris Jones. Bothered by the defender who went flying up into his face, Anthony Midget. Midget, the freshman from Clewiston, Florida. Another Floridian who's getting the start for the injured Antonio Banks. Banks, the senior from Newport News, is out with a groin injury.
Well, and Anthony Midget is going to be tested today. He wears a wristband so that when he hears the defensive call, he can check himself. A lot of young players want to be reassured. That's exactly what Anthony Midget is doing today with that wristband on.
Midget played well when he came in against East Carolina, had an interception and a sack after Banks went down in that game. This is Williams. Williams blasts inside the 5. Tripped up by Newsom, but Williams, circling into the middle now, has had a couple of important plays.
Miami has not utilized the fullback as much as they would like this season. They said yesterday to us that they wanted to get the ball more to Nick Williams. This is the same play that he had earlier in the first quarter, just a different formation coming from another side.
41 yards on his 2 catches.
And when you look at Nick Williams, you're looking at a load. That guy's 270 pounds.
That's a frightening prospect to see coming at you. This is Jones dancing and shut down, but squirms down near the 2-yard line. Tripped up by Cornell Brown, and then Lauren Johnson finished him off.
Butch Davis, a real disciple of Jimmy Johnson, was with Jimmy here in Miami, coached with him at the Cowboys, and he said one of the things he learned from Jimmy Johnson was the fact that when you run the I formation, you better give the ball to the tailback, not the fullback. But Butch Davis is moving a little away from that today. He's utilizing both backs in the backfield.
2nd and goal, Miami. Good fake and wide open Jones, the tight end, for the touchdown. Ryan Clement shows his faking ability, as we saw from Druckenmiller. And Jones was wide open.
Chris C. Jones, the wingback on the right side of the screen, is going to slip out after the play-action fake. Virginia Tech, Anthony Midget, the young freshman, number 30, he bit on the tailback athlete. He's the one that made the mistake.
Crosland for the point after. We are tied. Chris Jones with the score from Ryan Clement, 7-all.
How far can MasterCard take you? Here in Australia, MasterCard takes you into the future. The new MasterCard Cash Card. A MasterCard you can use just like cash. It's happening right now down under, and it's on its way here.
It has a lubricating comfort strip. And for a lot of guys, that's not much comfort. Introducing the Norelco Reflex Action Razor. A great shave with less irritation than blades.
Approaching the end of the first quarter, we're tied at 7. Let's take a look at the Miami score, Terry.
Anthony Midget, who's starting his first game for Virginia Tech, the young freshman defensive back, he is the one that bit on the play-action fake by the tailback. He follows the tailback athlete into the line of scrimmage. That allows the tight end, Chris C. Jones, to slip out in the flat, wide open.
Jorge Gaitan's kickoff, a short one, into the wind. Returned by Shane Miles, a reserve tight end, and out to the 36-yard line. So good field position for the Hokies starting this series. Tied at 7, 41 seconds left in the first quarter. There's
Very
Miles.
Very impressed with Miami's drive into the teeth of that wind. They were able to not only run the ball, but throw it as well.
Word on Twan Russell, the linebacker from Miami, a pinched nerve in his left shoulder, hurt down in that goal line play a few minutes ago. Apparently he will return. Marcus Parker now the running back, the tailback with Brian Edmonds, the fullback for the Hokies. This is Parker stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. The junior from Roanoke, Virginia. Let's go down to the sidelines and Michelle Tafoya.
All right, well, Virginia Tech coach Frank Beamer last night showed his team their weekly ritual called Positive Plays. This is a tape of the best plays from the previous week. He'll sneak in a blooper, though. Watch as Jim Druckenmiller lined up behind guard last week against East Carolina, noticed it, got back under center. That was one of the bloopers that Frank Beamer snuck in, was the bloopers into the Positive Plays, guys.
All right. Well, Druckenmiller a little bit embarrassed about that. Here he is on the option. Druckenmiller gets a first down running the option. The big guy, 6'4", 220-pound quarterback. Look at the smile on his face. He doesn't get to do that too often. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter with the score. Virginia Tech 7, Miami 7. We'll return to the Orange Bowl after this message and a word from your local station.
Every day, lots of people choose FedEx to take their 2-day packages. Cost? About $8.
Every day, lots of people choose UPS to take their 2-day packages. Cost? About $6.
Every day, lots more people choose the U.S. Postal Service to take their priority mail 2- to 3-day packages. Cost? $3.
So, 8, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
With more than 6,000 mutual funds, choosing the right one for you can be overwhelming. Charles Schwab helps simplify the process. We provide over 900 funds, many without loads or commissions, and many that financial advisors prefer most. Then to make it even easier, we use risk and return data from Morningstar to determine the historically high performers and put them all together in the Select List, only from Schwab. Call 1-800-5-NO-LOAD to get your free 6-month subscription.
CBS, welcome home.
It has the most powerful gas and diesel engines of any full-size pickup. It has the most available payload and towing. It has the roomiest cab of all, and better resale value than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. It's the truck that wrote a whole new rule book, now available in a leather-bound edition. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
Whether you need to fill a position for a day or staff a department or function for years, Norrell helps you match your workforce to your office staffing needs. Norrell guarantees the quality of their staffing employees, and they have a 10-step system that provides on-the-job support and monitors client satisfaction, which means Norrell has the best guarantee of all.
I'm Jim Coyle, owner of Norrell Services in Blacksburg and Salem, and I invite you to call one of our professionally trained associates and let our 10 years of staffing experience work for you.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 12, the hand. A remarkable part of every Advance Auto Parts salesperson, the hand can grasp any automotive situation.
My car goes...
Instantly, the hand tests the electrical system, removes the dead battery, and with free installation, puts in a new Autocraft battery. All you have to do is shake part number 12. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Seinfeld, weeknights at 7:30 on your hometown station.
Well, we talked about Jim Druckenmiller on the option getting the first down. He's rushed 58 times this year for 207 yards, averaging 3.6 a carry. So he can be dangerous when he gets out there, and he showed us there.
Well, he's not a real fast player, but he's an opportunistic optioning player, which he did on that play. The option proved to be a big play for their offense.
First down, and he flares it out for Marcus Parker. Parker breaking tackles. Parker bulls his way and takes a huge hit at the 28. He won 2 and lost 1, but he has a first down. It was Earl Little who finally put the stop on him, but it's Little who is going off the field.
As a coach, you love to be able to throw a little swing pass to a good athlete and then let him do his stuff, and this is what Marcus Parker's doing right here, breaking tackles, making people miss. Finally, as you said, he won 2, but he lost that route.
Little, however, the player had to leave the field. That was a physical mismatch. He's 185 against 222. Druckenmiller nearly dropped the ball, but now gets it off to Oxendine, and Oxendine has another Hokie first down to the 18-yard line. So Virginia Tech threatening again. Let's go to Pat O'Brien in New York.
All right, Tim, Northwestern has gone up 24-14 on Purdue behind this Darnell Autry touchdown run. His second of the day. Look at him go. Autry might be playing his final home game, as he may forego his final season next year for the NFL. They just added a field goal. Back to you, Tim.
Oh, what a good-looking back. Thanks, Patrick. This is Earl Little, the senior cornerback from North Miami. Put the hit on the tailback Marcus Parker, who carries again here. And Little stopped Parker on the play, but it was Little who had to head to the bench with an injury. Meanwhile, a pickup of 2 by Parker, leaving 2nd and 8 at the 15-yard line of the Hurricanes.
Virginia Tech has a very diversified offensive attack. They go no huddle. They really emphasize the tailback athlete, and every once in a while they'll slip in play-action passing and optioning. That's what keeps the defense spread out. That's what makes it hard to play great defense when you get spread too thin.
Play action again. The pass to the corner and incomplete. Intended for Michael Stuewe, number 31, the junior from Somerset, New Jersey. He's got 19 catches on the season. Ridgely has come in to replace Earl Little on the right corner for Miami. Number 29, he's a junior from Herrera, Louisiana.
You know, they talk about tailback by committee at Virginia Tech. the tailback athlete, if that was a single player, you look at the yards and touchdowns, they'd be a candidate for the Heisman Trophy right there.
You're not kidding. Jerome Stiff, the freshman, has done awfully well. From the spread formation to the tight end Jennings, gets to the 8-yard line. A flag is down on the play. Holding is the call against Virginia Tech. First infraction of the game. Our referee today is Reg Detillier.
Gennaro DiNapoli, number 64, the right guard. He's the man that got caught.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the spotted foul. Repeat third down.
He was going against Marvin Davis, number 93, and Davis just whipped him one-on-one and put the pressure there, and he had to tackle him to make sure he didn't sack the quarterback.
Well, that backs him out to the 29-yard line. The Hokies with third down.
You talk about a big critical call, big holding call that really takes you out of field goal range.
Third and 22. Little screen to the left side. Cornelius White, flanker screen, got back about 8. But it'll be fourth down. And Tech had been threatening on this drive. It was a good drive to the point of the penalty. They will attempt the field goal. It's at the 28-yard line. 38-yard attempt.
Generally, coaches get upset when holding's called because we all felt like you could call holding on any play of the game. But Frank Beamer right there, that was a good call by the official.
Shane Graham's long is 35, and that one might have been partially blocked. And so the Hokies come up empty as both of these teams are outstanding at blocking kicks of any kind. And it looked like Booker Pickett got a hand on this one.
It's right from the middle of the defensive team. They penetrate through the guard area, and he gets his hand up.
And so Miami takes over at their 21. We return.
With the all-new Dodge Dakota, we offer a choice. A torquey Magnum 4 that is not the typical wimpy whiner. A serious high-output Magnum V6. And a real live Magnum V8. The only V8 in its class. 468. Now who do you appreciate? The new Dodge Dakota. It's full of surprises.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of light for your holiday list. I'll help you in so many ways. I'd make the perfect gift, cause I'm the snake light from Black & Decker. I get around, around, around. I'm the snake light.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? You're out! Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1, so don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Taco Bell introduces fajita wraps, a different taste from a whole new place.
Cut it up, spice it up, grill it up, wrap it up, mix it up, fire it up, fill it up, tear it up, wrap it up.
Sink your teeth into Taco Bell fajita wraps. Marinated grilled steak or chicken and roasted fresh veggies, all wrapped up and ready to rumba.
There's nothing ordinary about it. Wrap it up.
CBS Sunday. Discover the truth behind the disaster. Dearest God, they said couldn't happen.
I've lost my baby.
Titanic.
12:25 remains until halftime. We're tied at 7 in the Orange Bowl. And Miami with that deflected kick block. Look at those numbers. 18 either blocked or deflected in 20 games under Butch Davis.
Well, and that was the 6th block this season for Butch Davis in Miami.
Great stuff. And Virginia Tech likewise talented in that department. So first down from just over the 20-yard line. And this is Edgerrin James, the freshman, number 32. James had 105 yards on 13 carries against Temple in Miami's last outing. He came in after they had lost their starter, Danielle Ferguson, to a hip injury against West Virginia. And then Dyrell McMillan, who took over for Ferguson, was out with an ankle injury, so James stepped in, the freshman. They had hoped to redshirt this kid, Terry, but he's a player.
Well, Butch Davis is very high on this guy. He thinks he can really add some size to the tailback position and some power. He can make you miss and also run over you. They think he's going to be a great back at Miami.
Miami, the two tight ends in. And the pass downfield intended for Terry Gator, incomplete. Hurricane fans wanted interference. Lauren Johnson had the coverage, number 12.
Tony Gator is one of the fastest players on the Miami team. He starts in the slot, runs down the field, and then just breaks it to the inside. Lauren Johnson gets a hand on his back. He got away with a hold there. It should have been pass interference from my perspective.
Gator starting for Jermaine Chambers, who's gone for the next several games with a knee injury. Miami without two of their starters on offense. Danielle Ferguson, the running back, out. Deep drop by Clement. Short pass to Gator, who caught it for not much gain. It'll be 4th down. He got about 4. Cornell Brown assisted on that tackle. They're All-American a year ago.
Cornell Brown is on everyone's list for being All-American, all-everything, but he is really getting handled right there by Curlin Blaze, number 79, the big offensive tackle.
Crosland's punt taken by Shawn Scales and returned to the 35-yard line. And the Hokies will start from there, having stopped the Hurricanes last foray. A 48-yard punt with the wind. A 7-yard return. A flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding on the kickers. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 4th down.
So the holding call against Miami. They'll have to punt again from farther back and into the wind. These are the key plays that both these coaches were aware of with this very gusty day here today.
You know, as much as you want to take that penalty, I'd worry a little bit about all of a sudden now Miami has the win with the kicker. Virginia Tech had pretty good field position up here on about the 35, 40-yard line. Now they back Miami up with this holding call, but the wind is to the kicker's back.
But don't you think they want to try and get the rush on it in the end zone here? I would think they're showing it. That must be Beamer's thinking here.
And they're a great punt block team.
Yes, they are. Here they come. And a good job by Crosland to get it out of there to midfield. Shawn Scales buried at the 45-yard line. So the Hokies are in Miami territory. A 41-yard punt this time. A 5-yard return with 10:53 remaining. We'll return to the Orange Bowl after this word from your local station.
CBS. Welcome home.
What's the difference between noise and sound? Noise is what the Dodge Stratus engineers did away with, using high-tech insulation, multiple door seals, vibration-defeating suspension. And sound? Those are the pleasing frequencies they left. The exhaust note, for instance, was tuned by a musician, and it goes something like this. Dodge Stratus. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you and get $1,000 cash savings on Stratus.
I'm Larry Chola, owner of ATS Transmissions. I've handpicked Southwest Virginia's best transmission technicians.
If you suspect that you may have a transmission problem, then you owe it to yourself to let our highly trained technicians diagnose your vehicle's symptoms. Over 75% of the people that do come to us for a test drive need only minor repairs or adjustments. We've built our reputation on honesty, quality, and warranty. So do as thousands of other people have done and come by ATS first.
ATS Transmissions, 919 Gusnix Boulevard, Roanoke.
Here's something so new, so different. Fast food will never be the same. Your choice of crispy chicken, fish, or shrimp. Savory seasoned rice. Fresh lettuce. Perfect tomatoes. One of 3 incredible sauces. And a wonderful way to wrap it all up. Introducing Long John's Wraps. $1.99 and $2.99. Only at Long John Silver's. Take a fresh look at Long John's.
tonight at midnight on your hometown station.
Michael Stuewe and Keion Carpenter are two of the punt block experts at Virginia Tech. They run a little cross charge in the middle of the Miami rush, and Stuewe almost gets that punt.
So it'll be first down for Druckenmiller and company at the 45-yard line of the Miami Hurricanes. We're tied at 7. 10:53 to go first half. Tim Ryan and Terry Donahue here at the Orange Bowl. Give us to Oxendine. Oxendine gets 7, maybe 8 on the play. There's a Hokie down.
Runs up the middle.
Getting up, limping on the play.
Mack and Coley make the stop for Miami.
Well, you've got to be impressed with Ken Oxendine and the job that he's done the last 4 games. And when Virginia Tech's able to throw Marcus Parker in there, they've got a powerful tandem there at the tailback position.
Jay Haygood was the injured player for Virginia Tech, senior tackle, plays the left side. And on 2nd and 4, Oxendine gets a couple, maybe 3. He'll be just short of the first down. Derek Smith in at left tackle, number 74 for the Hokies, replacing Haygood.
Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator in Miami, made a real point yesterday about 93 Marvin Davis and 99 Denny Fortney. They wanted to make sure that the inside of the Miami defense could hold up right in that area, and thus far they've been able to hold up against Virginia Tech.
3rd and 2, some early action. Whether they were drawn or whether they were offside, the Canes came steaming, and they think they're getting the call, and they do. Well, that's a big play on 3rd and 2 in Miami territory.
Oh.
That changes everything for Frank Beamer and company.
Miami jumped into the neutral zone. You're not quite sure exactly why Virginia Tech flinched or came off sides there. I didn't see anything on the replay that indicated they were in motion.
Jimmy Kibble will punt the ball. Into the wind. It's a short punt. It takes a Hokie bounce and comes down at the 3-yard line. So a little break for Virginia Tech there. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl in a moment.
Man, nothing like a new pair of Nike Turf trainers.
Yeah, you know, Steve Young works out in the Air Zoom Fly.
Oh, can that guy hustle? All right. Hey, you're Steve Young.
So, what do you think?
Nobody gets you closer to the game than Foot Locker, where it all begins.
It's hard to think of something more important to a kid than their bike. That's why State Farm, along with the help of the Good Neighbor, sponsors the Bike Rodeo, just one of the many safety programs we support throughout the country. It's where we give kids a lesson in bike safety to help make sure their bikes are in good condition and to teach kids to ride more responsibly. Because at State Farm, we want to make sure children are safe no matter where their bikes take them.
State Farm is there.
When the unexpected happens, the all-new Dodge Dakota swings into action. Standard dual airbags help guard you from the front. High-strength steel door beams help shield you from the side, while the new front seats are designed to help protect you from the rear. When it came to building a safer truck, we considered all the angles. The new Dodge Dakota. It's full of surprises.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien in our New York studios. Coming up on the College Football Today Ford halftime report, all the scores and highlights, including Danny Werfel's final home game at Florida Field. Florida dominated South Carolina 52-25. We'll see you at halftime.
The last call by the officials was a critical one against Virginia Tech. Kenny Holmes, the defensive end from Miami, jumped in the neutral zone, No one from Virginia Tech flinched except the center snapped the ball. The officials called it against Virginia Tech.
Tough call indeed on a 3rd and 2 in Miami territory. The Canes, meanwhile, have to start from their 2-yard line after that punt rolled down there and was covered. Clement on 1st down for the tight end Jones, overthrew him, incomplete. And Jones looking for an interference call on the linebacker Myron Newsom, none forthcoming.
Myron Newsom was trying to match up man against man with Chris C. Jones. Myron Newsom is only 5'8". Jones is 6'2½". There's a mismatch there, but Newsom got away with a good tight coverage that time.
Myron Newsom at 5'9", 216, kind of a Sam Mills type.
They say he's the shortest starting linebacker in the Big East Conference.
Out of the end zone, Edgerrin James gets a couple near the 5-yard line, met there by Tony Morrison. Clement now 7 of 10 passing. And he'll have another passing down here on 3rd and about 9. 8:17 to go in the first half. We're tied at 7. Hokies opened the scoring on a brilliant drive engineered by Jim Druckenmiller. And then a likewise long drive by the Hurricanes, tying it at 7. Miami with the win in this quarter. This is James. To the 35-yard line. The freshman.
You got to give the offensive coordinator, Larry Coker, a lot of credit for this call. It's long yardage. He decides to play conservative. He runs the ball. James, the tailback, Larry Coker said he can flat make you miss. Here he makes a lot of them miss.
That's the youngster. They were going to redshirt. He had a slight fracture of the wrist when Danielle Ferguson went down, and then Dyrell McMillan got hurt with an ankle injury, although he's ready to go today. James got a chance to play at Temple, rolled up 105 yards, most of it in the 3rd quarter. And a timeout called by the Hurricanes with 7:26 to go. We're tied at 7. First half.
I'll be the judge of that.
This Cordell Stewart kid is very versatile. Look at that film. He does it all, from soup to nuts. The classic story of guy tosses football, guy catches football, guy runs football. Guy beats defense like a rented mule. Oh, what's the use? These doofus could sit through a Cordell Stewart double feature. They couldn't slow him down if they ran the film backwards.
These are the biggest feet in pro basketball. Shoe size 21. If you think the shoes are hard to fill, imagine what it takes to fill the rest of him. Big boy. Well, new cheese tortellini from Chunky foots the bill. It's loaded with giant ring-shaped pasta stuffed with cheese, plus huge chunks of chicken and tons of vegetables. So if you've got a giant appetite to feed, Chunky cheese tortellini scores with the big boys. Satisfied? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought so. Campbell's Chunky, soup that eats like a meal.
Next week, we have doubleheader action on CBS Sports coverage of college football. Boston College, winners today. A plucky effort after their gallant effort against Notre Dame last week. They were winners today, and they will take on Miami. Tennessee, a big winner today. You'll watch them against Kentucky. And Kentucky now a bit more of a factor as they have won 3 in a row since they announced that Coach Bill Curry wouldn't be back. So Boston College, Miami, followed by Kentucky and Tennessee with Peyton Manning, all beginning at 12 Eastern next Saturday here on CBS Sports. Jim Ryan and Terry Donahue at the Orange Bowl in gusty, windy conditions reaching up to 40 miles an hour. And the Hurricanes and the Hokies are tied at 7. Miami ball at their own 34-yard line with the wind here in the 2nd quarter. Ryan Clement. Changing up here. And it's batted down. Cornell Brown got a big pop on it. knocked down the pass. A quick shot intended out there to the wideout.
Ryan Clement looked outside. He saw man-to-man coverage. Cornell Brown, he comes and gets his hand up. Defensive linemen are taught anytime the quarterback sets short, go ahead and get your hands up because you can't get there with the pass rush. Get there with the deflection. Excellent job by Cornell Brown.
Nice little jump by Brown, too, showing his athletic ability. Perfectly timed, 2nd and 10. Double wide out to the right again. They give to James. James showing his running ability. A flag is down as he got near the first down. Looked like he was pushed out just shy of the first down.
Edgerrin James is a big 220-pound fast running back. He adds a dimension to the Miami offense that they have not had since Ferguson got hurt.
Holding is the signal against the Hurricanes, wiping out that good effort by James. You know, and he's a tall guy. Goes 6'1", 6'2", and yet he runs with kind of a short stride. And he's got outstanding speed, as we can see. He looks like he's going to be a real good one.
They're excited about him. He can make you miss, and he's going to be a game breaker, particularly as he gets more experience.
Spotted a foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Highly recruited. Butch Davis real pleased to be able to talk him into coming to Miami.
You know, when you can put different kinds of tailbacks at a defense, it helps you. When they played Trent Jones, they're playing a 5'7", 185-pound type player who's quick and elusive. You play James, you're playing the big, powerful, strong back. It gives a change of pace to the defensive front.
Holding penalty leaves them with 2nd and close to 13. Clement sideline wide open. It's Green, first down and then some. Teal Green gets down to the 43-yard line. Let's see. No, he stepped out at the 48-yard line, but it is still a first down.
We said at the top of the telecast, when you can isolate players like Teal Green against the defensive backs of Virginia Tech, the advantage is with Miami. This is excellent play calling and strategy by the Miami offensive coaches. Ryan Clement takes a little shot here. Waverly Jackson takes him down to the ground.
But the Hurricanes with a first down at the 48 of Virginia Tech. James not much this time. Good reaction to the ball by the front. Tony Morrison, the linebacker, coming in to make the initial hit. Number 8. .650 remaining, a little under that now, and Miami with 1 timeout remaining. The Hokies have all 3 of theirs. Virtually no gain. We'll call it 2nd and 10 for Miami. The 48-yard line of the Hokies. Carl Bradley in for Kerwin Hairston defensively at tackle. Clement had the time, but the coverage was good. And now, trying to find an open man, throws it up for grabs. Danny Wheel had the pressure on him. Gator, the intended receiver, couldn't bring it in.
Johnson.
Tony Gator, the fastest man on the Miami team, runs down the field and breaks out. He's wide open. Ryan Clement just does not get the ball to him with a well-timed pass. Consequently, he scrambles and threw the ball up for grab. Once again, he gets hit. Butch Davis mentioned yesterday about one of the keys to Miami's success is trying to protect Ryan Clement with that bad shoulder. They don't want him on the ground.
Separated shoulder in the East Carolina game. He unloads this one quickly, and Gator keeps going. Still going. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Pearson Prelo, but there is a flag down. Pearson Prelo just bounced off Gator. And he has the first down yardage, but the flag is back at the 45-yard line of Virginia Tech. Hurricanes just had one called back with a holding call. Let's see what happens on this one. It's obviously against Miami, judging by Butch's reaction.
And the thing about coaches, we always chew on the official closest.
Line of scrimmage. Replay, 3rd down.
We always get after the official closest to us on the sideline because that's the only one you can get your hands on. The guy who made the call is 53 yards across the field. He has nothing to do with it, the poor guy that's getting chewed out by Butch Davis.
Well, it brings it back. Somebody ineligible downfield.
I used to do that all the time, Tim. I treated them all the same. If I could yell at any one of them, I would have got after them.
Equal opportunity yeller.
Absolutely.
Third down and 15 now for the Hurricanes going backwards. And now again a situation, was he drawn or did he jump? It was Nate Williams, number 92, who made the jump for the Hokies. We'll see if he was pulled over or not by the Hurricanes.
Prior to the snap, encroachment by contact, defense, 5 yards, replay third down.
This one against the defense.
That was a good play by the quarterback, Ryan Clement. He changes his cadence and he moves his head. Defensive player jumped off sides and they got him.
That was Williams.
Quarterbacks are trained in a lot of offensive systems to do that. They maneuver with their head. They draw those defensive linemen who are coiled and ready to go. They suck them off sides.
Slot formation left, 3 wideouts for Miami. Trent Jones, the lone running back. Jones, number 6, the junior from Miami. Third down and nearly 10. They're adjusting the clock. They now have it back to 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Remaining first half, we're tied at 7. Ken Oxendine scored first in this game for Virginia Tech. Chris Jones on a 3-yard pass reception from Ryan Clement. Tying it up at 7. That's where we are. And now Clement changing it up again. Long count. Pressure on him from the linebacker. He gets it off to Jones. And what a play. What a play by Brandon Semones. He had the quarterback sacked, and then he came back to recover to make the tackle on Jones.
Brandon Semones is one of the big play specialists for Virginia Tech. He comes on the blitz. Great second effort. He misses in the first time. Once Clement shovel passes the ball, but he came back with the second effort.
Andy Crosland's punt with the win, taken by Scales. Scales just stopped at the 33-yard line with only one man behind him. Had he not been hit by Twan Russell, he could have gone a long way.
He was going to take it for a touchdown, guaranteed, Tim.
So the Hokies will start from their 37-yard line. Scales, like Tremaine Mack of Miami, dangerous anytime he's got the ball in a kicking situation. 41-yard punt, a 20-yard return. 5:31 remaining first half. Jim Druckenmiller leads out the Hokies from the eye. They give it to Marcus Parker. Not much there. May have lost a yard on the play. Let's go down to the sidelines again, and Michelle Tafoya.
All right, guys. Well, the Miami coaching staff emphasized how disappointed the Hurricanes were to have lost to Florida State a few weeks back because that eliminated all their chances of going to the national championship game. That means that this year's senior class will be the first class at Miami since the freshmen of 1980 not to win a national title. More in a second.
Druckenmiller wanting to throw, now is forced out of the pocket. Got back just to the line of scrimmage. Let's go back to Michelle.
16 consecutive classes, Tim, had been part of one of 4 national championships since 1983, and that's an unprecedented string in Division I-A. The coaching staff here at Miami very aware that when players come here, they expect to win a national title, Tim.
And if they don't fulfill the expectation, they're not happy campers.
Well, the expectations here at Miami are incredibly high. But that's why they have a great program. They expect to win the national championship.
Third down from the shotgun. Druckenmiller got time, and he's got the tight end Jennings. Jennings for the first down. What a clutch play. Druckenmiller and his tight end Brian Jennings. And the rush from James Burgess, the linebacker, number 54.
Brian Jennings has only 7 receptions coming into today's game, but a lot of people think he's one of the very top tight ends in the country and will be a great pro player at the next level. Give Jim Druckenmiller credit. He stood in that pocket, he waited, and finally released that ball.
Big-time play by both players and a first down at the Miami 45. Play action fake, and that ball on the mark, but off the hands of Cornelius White. Couldn't bring it in, number 4.
Tim, one of the things that's happening today that's a little bit surprising, I thought that Virginia Tech would be able to run the ball more effectively. They've only rushed for 51 yards thus far in the game. But what they have been able to do, they've been able to get the ball outside, particularly throwing it, and down the field against this Miami defense.
And into the wind.
And into the wind, different than what I thought.
Yeah, and Druckenmiller yesterday when I talked to him and he was testing it out here in similar winds yesterday, wasn't too concerned about it. And this time it's Marcus Parker hit by Earl Little. Druckenmiller felt that anything from 10 to 15, he should be able to get that ball on the mark even in this heavy wind. He thought the long passes obviously were going to be more susceptible to being knocked off target by the gusts, but he's a strong arm guy.
Boy, is he ever, and he's physical at 6'4", 225 pounds. Probably the strongest quarterback in America. If you were having a weightlifting contest, that guy probably would be the strongest of all of them.
I would bet on it. Wanting to throw again. His line shot is complete to White. And White, who saw one go off his fingers moments ago, comes up with a first down to the 27 of Miami, tripped up by Tremaine Mack.
Cornelius White is going man-to-man against Little, who's back after his injury. Cornelius White hasn't made a lot of great big plays for Virginia Tech, but he's been opportunistic. He's come up with some key receptions from time to time that has kept offensive drives alive.
A senior from Pendle, Pennsylvania, Cornelius White. First down, Hokies, 2:51 to go in the half. Tied at 7 here at the Orange Bowl. Nice play action fake. Druckenmiller is stripped from behind, and it was Kenny Holmes. What a play, and a blocker on him. Kenny Holmes got there just as Druckenmiller was about to release it.
The strength of Miami's defense is their defensive ends. Kenny Holmes, the defensive right end, has been able to dominate Jay Haygood most of the afternoon. Haygood, the left tackle, 71, just cannot handle the speed and athleticism right now of Kenny Holmes.
And what a job by Holmes, and they were lucky, the Hokies, to retain possession of the ball.
Holmes has gotten to Druckenmiller about 4 times already today, not for sacks, but for pressure.
A little shuffle pass, and it's well played by the Hurricanes. Brian Edmonds was stopped by Fortney. And a loss on the play.
The diversity of Virginia Tech's offense is shown here on a little shovel pass. You let those linemen come in. You act like you're running wide. Just shovel the ball underneath. Oftentimes, there's a huge hole for those backs to run through. This particular time, Miami played it extremely well.
Another big third down play in Miami territory. Druckenmiller with time. And he's a little off target, intended for Michael Stuewe. And he took a hit as he had to turn for the ball. Tremaine Mack put the lick on him. He had no chance to catch it.
If you had to talk about the best player on Miami's team defensively, it's number 3, Tremaine Mack. He is a fearless, courageous tackler. Right there, he put his hat right on him and knocked Michael Stuewe loose from the ball.
Timeout called by the Hokies with a 4th down play coming up. 1:25 left in the half. The ball at the Miami 30-yard line. So we'll be back at the Orange Bowl to see what Frank Beamer and the Hokies do, tied at 7.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? You're out! Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1, so don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Trade after trade, active investors rely on our brokerage experience. Isn't it time you had Fidelity Investments working for you?
It starts with a full quarter pound of beef, with fresh toppings, our chef sauce, on a bakery soft roll. McDonald's Arch Deluxe. If it were any more grown up, we'd need to check your ID. Oh, thank you. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
Well, there's Coach Frank Beamer. We've got a coach in the booth. What do you do here and why, Terry Donahue?
Virginia Tech wants to try and make this first down, even though it's 4th down and about 13 to go. They've got pretty good field position. They just probably feel that a punt isn't going to gain them that much yardage, so they're going to go for it. And Druckenmiller has been able to hit some passes.
Forced out of the pocket. A flag is down. Likely a hold. Druckenmiller runs with it. Well short of the first down. And let's see what the flag is. Likely holding against the Hokies.
I think Miami will decline this penalty and just take the ball where it is, about the 22-yard line. They won't give them a chance to punt this ball.
Now they're given the choice now. And so the holding call.
Holding. Offense. Penalty refused. First down, Miami.
Well, you were good on making the choice, Donahue, but you were a little kind of iffy about what play to call.
Well, I said that they were going to try to get the ball down the field. Druckenmiller, he did try to throw. He couldn't find anybody open. You'd have to call that a coverage scramble. They had good coverage. The quarterback had nowhere to go. He had to scramble. Couldn't make the first down. It's good defense by Miami.
Miami, with 1:16 left and the win, first down at their own 24-yard line. We're tied at 7. A very well-played first half by both these teams. They've got their second unit offensive line in, with the exception of center Casey Jones. Clement gets some time, and he hit Jones out of the backfield, but not much on it. Pearson Frelo made the tackle.
Virginia Tech's not been able to run smash-mouth football like they thought coming into this game. The previous 4 games, they've dominated their opponents, but not today.
Second, and he got 5 on the play, more than I thought. Clement now running out of time in the pocket, throws it upfield, and it's complete. Got help from Green coming back to the ball for a first down to the 44-yard line. 43 seconds left. Green slow to get up.
15 yards, a first down.
You can see today Virginia Tech with only 57 yards here in the first half rushing. Druckenmiller has done the job passing for them. Thus they're tied at 7-all, but they need to run the ball. And Green, as we pointed out, injured on the last play, and looks like he's maybe favoring a cramp possibly in that right leg.
He's either cramping or has a hamstring. When we were here for the Miami-Florida State game, Yatil Green was taken off the field into the locker room with such severe cramps, and finally came back to the game late, but they missed him when he couldn't compete. He is the guy that you love to put out there on the island with the defensive backs and go one-on-one.
We saw him make one brilliant catch early in the game. There's Clement, and you see Green coming back for the ball. Coaches like to see that, don't you, Terry?
Oh, you want to come back to the ball. The longer you let it hang in the air, the higher the percentages of an interception are.
Speaking of coaches, we can't let the first half conclude without having you react to this possibility that you'll replace Lou Holt. You'll love it in South Bend.
No, I'm a West Coast guy, and not only that, I love working with CBS. You know that.
Well, there'll be more on that, I think, Terry. I know you're on the phone answering the press all morning. First down from the 43-yard line. Clement downfield, and it is poked away, but a flag is down. Intended for the tight end Fulcher, and it was Torrian Gray, the safety. Well, I thought he played the ball all the way there. Let's see what the call is.
Safeties are taught to go for the ball. Montrell Fulcher runs down the middle of the formation. He's a fast, speedy tight end. He's a converted wide receiver. He just runs down the middle. To me, that's a great defensive play. Absolutely not a pass interference call.
Well, they did call that pass interference against the defense, but there was another flag back at the line of scrimmage. And they will offset. So we did not hear the call against Miami. We assume maybe a hold at the line of scrimmage is always a good bet.
Well, maybe there is justice in football when they offset like that. Torrian Gray would not have wanted to go into the locker room with that penalty against him. It was not a good call.
And we are told that it was a cramp Yatil Green suffered. He'll be back. Clement under pressure, gets it off, and a nice pass for a first down with 20 seconds left to the 45-yard line. Tony Gator. Ryan Clement made an outstanding pass. Carpenter made the tackle. Miami takes their final timeout with 21 seconds on the clock. They have the ball at the Hokie 45 when we return.
There's a word we use for athletes who win with hard work and dedication: champion. And there's a word we use for athletes who use steroids or any other drugs to get an edge: cheaters.
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
Tony Morrison, the linebacker for the Hokies, injured on that last play, just getting to his feet now and being assisted off. Let's see what happens on the play here from ground level, Terry.
He came on the blitz. Virginia Tech came after Ryan Clement with the blitz. Casey Jones is the player who took him down with a cut block. But Ryan Clement is a strong player. He stands in there. 2 to 3 of those Hokies have him, particularly Cornell Brown, number 58, the All-American defensive end, had him in his grasp, but Clement never went down. He's been under pressure today. They've sacked him one time. They've pressured him, knocked him around. And Butch Davis has got to be concerned about that because he does have a partially separated shoulder. They've got to be worried about the pressure that's being put on this athlete.
And that's on his left shoulder, we hasten to add, not his throwing shoulder, but nonetheless a problem. Junior Steve Tate is in for the injured Morrison. Clement, sideliner, complete. 16 seconds on the clock. And that was Andy Atrio, who made the catch. Reserve wide receiver coming up with a big play in his first opportunity of this half with 16 seconds left. They're now at the 33-yard line of Virginia Tech.
You never know who's going to step up in big games. Atrio is the 5th wide receiver. Really didn't expect to see a whole lot of action today. Here he is in the final seconds of the first half drive. Makes a big play for the Hurricanes.
Mondrell Fulcher comes in at tight end. Chris Jones goes out. First down, Miami. Clement down the middle, complete. First down at the 9-yard line. They're out of timeouts. They have 11 seconds left. Fulcher made the catch. The third tight end, who's already seen action in this first half. Clement trying to settle his team down. The play is already called, of course. And he stops the clock by drilling it into the ground. 8 seconds left.
And Mondrell Fulcher, the tight end, has wide receiver speed. He was inserted into the game so he could stretch the defense down the middle, which is exactly what he did.
Ryan Clement, Terry, was furious when they sent on apparently a kicking unit, and he was screaming at the sideline saying, "Why are we doing this?" And then as he came to the sideline, Butch Davis pushed him back out there and said, "Okay, let's go for it." 8 seconds remain as he got that spike into the ground to stop the clock. That'll make it second down, and now there's a timeout called by Virginia Tech.
I'm going to tell you what I think about this, Tim. I sure as heck wouldn't let Ryan Clement determine my future as a head coach. I wouldn't let him determine whether I was going to kick a field goal or go for it. I know he's a fiery leader, and you want your quarterback to help you, but Butch Davis definitely wanted to kick a field goal in this situation. With the score 7-7, you've got a surefire 3 points in your pocket. Here you've got one down to make 9 yards.
Well, there are 8 seconds remaining.
And they might make it. You know, they might make it. But I think it's a high-risk call, and I don't think the quarterback should ever get in a situation he's allowed to overrule a coach like that.
Well, essentially one play, and the coach had the kicking unit on the field as Clement was protesting wildly from the area where he had just spiked the ball. And as he came toward the sideline when we were running that replay, Davis then sent back on the regular offensive unit. Now let's see what they do here, because timeout was called by the Hokies. Miami, remember, has used up their timeouts.
But, you know, this Ryan Clement, he's a fiery doggone leader. I'd tell you, I'd grab him by the throat and say, hey, baby, you want to go for it. You get it in the end zone now. You're calling the shots here. You get that sucker into the end zone.
Well, let's see what he does here, because that's what they're going to do.
And he might. Yatil Green's back in the game, 87, and he's isolated out wide.
Now he's switching here. Little mix-up. Gator comes left. Green goes to the short side.
They have a mismatch out there with these Virginia Tech DBs.
Clement a deep drop. Sideliner is caught, but at the 2-yard line. 3 seconds on the clock to Green. They're going to get 2 plays in 8 seconds. How about that?
Well, when you stop the clock as quick as they do, you can.
Green comes limping back to the huddle area, and he'll take himself out, but he made another brilliant catch. And not a bad strike from Clement. And now they're going to kick it. Well, they each got their own way. Clement got the try. The coach gets the call.
I don't want to second guess, but I'm not sure I wouldn't go for it in this situation. They're down to the 1-yard line. If you already made the decision that you were going to do it with 8 seconds, I'd do it with 3 seconds and 1 yard to go personally.
They're just outside the 1-yard line.
Virginia took a timeout.
Hokies take another timeout. Here comes Clement back on the field. Well, that gets the crowd alive.
Now they're going to go for it, and I don't blame Butch Davis here. I think this is the right thing to do.
3 seconds to play. And the Hokies actually helped them make this change in decision.
Well, no question about it. They had a substitution violation. They had too many men on the field at Virginia Tech. They substituted wrong. Consequently, Miami's got a chance to run the ball. They'll give that ball to the tailback, I believe, or the fullback.
Now Miami, they don't have a timeout. So they're going to take a penalty here and back up 5 yards for delay of game.
And look at this guy.
Well, I tell you, I have seen more drama here in 8 seconds than I can remember in a football game.
Now I want to say this.
Emotions.
I think Butch Davis should kick this one now. And I'll bet he does.
He's got Crosland, the kicker, on the field, and Clement's going nuts on the sideline. Well, somebody didn't know their assignment, and they were unable to get that play off. So now Crosland will kick it from the 13-yard line, call it the 12. It'll be a 22-yard field goal try for Crosland, and he better not miss, and he does. Holy moly.
They'll be right about this one for a while.
With the win, Crosland misses from 22 with an angle, and Miami comes up empty. But we are tied at 7. Let's go down to Michelle Tafoya.
All right, standing by with Butch Davis. Boy, who convinced who to do what, and you missed the field goal anyway.
Well, once we saw that the ball was down there, we thought it was worth a chance to take a shot from the 1-yard line to try to certainly score 7 points. We didn't realize that one of the receivers was hurt, and we didn't have the right personnel in the game, so we had to go back, kick the field goal. We're ready to go.
All right, any concern about Clement right now and the pressure that he's taking after being pretty well protected in most of the first half?
He's been protected pretty well. We're making some big plays. They're having to pay for the pressure.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, well, that injured receiver was Yatil Green. We saw him limping off. The rest of the unit didn't. It's the end of the first half. We're tied at 7. We are back at the Orange Bowl, a 7-7 tie in this crucial Big East battle. Miami unbeaten in the Big East, a half game behind Syracuse. Virginia Tech at 4-1 in this gusty, windy day. It was a well-played half until the final 8 seconds, where a coach might say it wasn't so well played or well called.
Well, any head coach who's been in the business very long has been in that decision-making process before, and it gets confusing. The communications from upstairs get confusing, the pressure on the sidelines. The one thing I don't think you can ever do is let your quarterback dictate your fate as a coach. I think you've got to be able to tell the quarterback, hey, I'm going to make these decisions. I think that happened to Miami a little bit.
Well, it looked like that Ryan Clement got to make one of the decisions, convincing his coach to go for it when he had the field goal unit on the field. Then when they got inside the 1 yard line, Butch Davis decided to go for it. There was a delay of game penalty called against Miami. That backed them up. They went for the field goal, and it was missed from 22 yards out with the win by Crosland. So Miami kicking off to open the second half. The Hokies scored first in this game with a good long drive. Miami replied with one of their own, and that's accounted for our 7-7 score. Shawn Scales driven back on the kickoff return, and they're going to spot it about 8 yards upfield at the 20-yard line. Statistically, in that first half, we said some well-played football, I thought, Coach Donahue, wouldn't you say so?
Well, it was a very close game. The key is that Virginia Tech has not been able to establish the running game like they thought they could coming into the contest. They wanted to play some smash-mouth football. It hasn't happened for them. The Miami defense has held up inside, which is what Butch Davis and Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator at Miami, wanted to get accomplished. So they accomplished that in the first half against Virginia Tech.
Druckenmiller was 9 of 13 passing. He opens with the run, Ken Oxendine. And he'll be close to the first down. They'll spot it at the 30-yard line. It'll leave second and about 2. Druckenmiller 9 of 13, as we said. Clement 15 of 22. I mean, they were both just excellent.
Well, particularly considering the wind. In the pregame warm-up, I wasn't sure either one of them would hit a pass in the first half the way this wind is gusting. Both quarterbacks did an excellent job both with and into the wind.
On 2nd and 2, the Hokies pick up first down. Holmes making the tackle on Oxendine. Virginia Tech playing with the wind, but it is now swirling. We can feel it up here. It was pretty much directly up and down the field during the first half. But there's now more of a swirl going on. We're watching the flags change, and we can feel it up here high in the broadcast booth. And the palm trees really taking a beating here today, as they have for the past couple of days. Gusts up to 40 to 45 miles an hour. No rain, however. It's down, Hokies. Oh, big run for Oxendine. And Oxendine still going, hauling a defender all the way inside the 35. Tony Coley got a free ride. The linebacker, Oxendine at 6'1", 220, the junior, showing his strength.
One of the things that Miami wants to do to stop the Virginia Tech running game is put 8 men up on the line of scrimmage, just leaving 3 men to play pass defense. Once you break the line of scrimmage, when you're into that alignment, you have a chance to make a long run. That's what Virginia Tech did right there.
Oxendine, the leading rusher in the Big East, broke into the stats last week. 99 yards against East Carolina. He has 68 yards on 12 carries, and Earl Little is the injured Hurricane player. He was shaken up back in the first half.
Our winning combination
after a tremendous collision with the fullback Brian Edmonds of Virginia Tech. Looks like he's all right. Little, a senior, North Miami. Another look at the play that resulted in the injury to Little. Comes limping off and holding the back of his thigh.
On the hit against Oxendine. Oxendine's a very powerful, strong running back. You've got to wrap him up. You can't just put a shoulder into him. You've got to take him down to the ground.
Hokies first down at the Miami 44-yard line. Good piece of running there. Oxendine again, picking his way this time.
Frank Beamer, the head coach at Virginia Tech, said that if we can just keep this game close until the fourth quarter, our football players are going to believe that they're stronger and in better condition, and they can win this game in the fourth quarter. His goal is to keep this thing nice and tight until that fourth period.
Burgess made the tackle, a 7-yard pickup. Running the ball as they want to. They have never won here in the Orange Bowl. And Oxendine this time taken down, and a good defensive play by Burgess. Senior middle linebacker from Homestead, Florida.
Burgess brings down the Hokie ball carrier.
You know that Frank Beamer at halftime talked to Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator, and say, hey, we got to get back to what we do best, which is running the ball. They've run the ball every single down thus far in this half. They're trying to establish a principle or an attitude, and they'll throw it, but they want to get that running game established.
We'll have to throw it here on 3rd and 5, and it is dropped. The ball was there for the fullback, Edmonds. He could not hold on. So it is 4th down. The Hurricanes defense comes up big here, blunting that opening second half drive of the Hokies. Jermaine Mack is back to receive the punt. Always dangerous in any kicking situation on either side of the ball. A high short punt. Bearcats signaled. Starks inside the 15 of Miami.
He punt, 27 yards.
What if you could take on a whole new image? Would you be more elegant? More dynamic? More comfortable? What if you could make these changes and still hold on to what's inside? Introducing the new Q45 from Infiniti. One of the world's best performing luxury cars has an almost entirely new identity.
There's a medical emergency, but no hospital. What do you do? Build one. Leadership. Learn it now in the Army Reserve. Use it now in your career.
Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible. Rated PG-13. Now on sale where video cassettes are sold.
CBS Sports coverage of college football is sponsored by Infiniti, the new Q45. Everything changes but the soul. The NASDAQ stock market. And by Campbell's. Campbell's makes everything better.
Tim Ryan, Terry Donahue at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Early second half tied at 7. Big East battle. Virginia Tech has never won here in 7 tries. They beat Miami at home for the first time in their history last year at Blacksburg. They want to win here in the Orange Bowl and a chance to stay in the hunt for the Big East title. First down Miami from their own 13-yard line. Trent Jones picks up a couple to the 15. Waverly Jackson made the tackle. Yatil Green has not returned to the field for Miami. He went out there and tried it. We're told he has a strained hamstring. And he is on the sideline, number 87, their ace receiver. And don't forget, another one of their receivers already gone, Jermaine Chambers, for at least another 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, Miami is very thin at wide receiver. They came into the game with Gator and Magic Benton and Yatil Green as the 3 top wideouts, and those are the guys they wanted to get the ball to.
Clement rolling on the play action. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Daphnis.
Penalty markers are down.
And a flag down at the line of scrimmage and one upfield. Torrian Gray had the coverage. Looks like an ineligible receiver downfield on the last play. Ryan Clement, the fiery quarterback of Miami, willing to take on his coach in the final 8 seconds.
Receiver, downfield, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Tim, I love his spirit. I just don't like his judgment. I don't think he used good judgment there, but you have to give him credit because of the competitiveness and the fierceness that he enters the game with and the way he plays the game. I love the way he plays. I just think he needs to be harnessed.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just love to hear a former coach be talking about how that kid could infuriate him in that situation. Second down. 13, and Clement in all kinds of trouble gets it off, and it is Green who has returned out there, sore leg and all, makes the catch, but a flag down again. Back behind the line of scrimmage. Preliminary call as a hold against the Hurricanes.
Yatiel Green was working against the freshman Anthony Midget, and there's a definite advantage to Miami in that particular case, but Virginia Tech was able to bring the pressure.
Midget playing for the injured Antonio Banks, out of the game in uniform but not playing. He has a groin injury, suffered last week against East Carolina. Tony Morrison out of the Hokies lineup at middle linebacker, replaced by Steve Tate.
Offense. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
That's a call, Tim, where one of the linemen probably got up underneath a face mask during pass protection. It happens every once in a while inadvertently, and all of a sudden you have a face mask penalty on the offense as opposed to the defense.
So the ball now back inside the 2-yard line of Miami. They run it out with Trent Jones. Jones to the 15-yard line. Gray and Frelo made the stop for the Hokies. That's going to leave third down and 8.
Trent Jones is the smaller of the Miami defensive backs. He's elusive. He's got quick feet and vision. He just hits a little draw play and takes it up the field, north and south. The nice thing that he does here, he gets a lot of good, valuable field position for Miami so that they don't convert. They're in better position to kick the ball.
There's a look at the goalpost down in the Miami end zone, and you can see them swaying. The wind is definitely heavier. A flag down again. And the pass out intended for Jones as he had a good rush on. Engelberger putting the heat on Clement.
Virginia
rush the pass.
Virginia Tech jumped off sides. It's a cheap 5 yards for Miami. Now instead of 3rd and 8, puts them into a 3rd and 3 situation.
Outside. Defense. 5 yards. Replay, third down.
Waverly Jackson, 98, just gets a little jumpy. Moves just a hair early and gets caught into the neutral zone.
From the 20.
Green comes out. Jones comes out.
Look at that end. Look at that big old guy at 300 pounds. Once he starts, it's hard for him to get back across the line of scrimmage.
Daphnis and Fulcher now double tight ends in for Miami. That's the tight end Daphnis in motion. The pass is caught by Benton and a first down. Good-looking play by the Hurricanes. Steve Tate, the linebacker, number 49, in on the tackle.
We haven't heard a lot of Magic Benton this afternoon. He's one of the players that Miami feels is a game breaker. He's got the speed and the electricity to go all the way with every throw. He ran a little slant pass. Good job by Ryan Clement putting the ball where he needed to.
And it was the freshman corner, Anthony Midget, on the coverage who made the tackle. First down, Miami. And the pass was there, just a little behind Fulcher. Tried to reach up for it, unable to haul it down. Mondrell Fulcher.
Mondrell Fulcher has more speed than most tight ends in the country. He's able to get deep into secondary because he's a converted wideout. He only weighs about 225, 230 pounds, but he can run. That makes him a real valuable weapon in the throwing game.
He's a freshman, and has seen quite a bit of time here today as Coach Davis has used all 3 of his tight ends. 2nd and 10. Canes came from the shadow of their goal line, and they're out at the 35. Lots of time for Clement, and a diving try by Daphnis, the big tight end, 260-pounder, couldn't quite haul it in. Some spectacular blocking at the point of attack. John Engelberger making the rush.
Little Trent Jones, number 6, 5'7". He's the man that lays the block that gives Ryan Clement all the time in the world to try and get this ball down the field. You don't expect tailbacks that are 5'7", 165 pounds to do that to big John Engelberger, who's 6'4", 250 pounds.
Job by Jones. 3rd and 10. And they sack him. Back to the 23-yard line. Second of the day by the Hokies. And it was Cornell Brown.
Cornell Brown has had a tough season, nowhere near the kind of year that he had a year ago. He's one of the finalists for the Lombardi Trophy. He gets a big critical sack. No one even blocked him. There was a mistake in the Miami offensive line. No one went out to block Cornell Brown.
And the Hurricanes take a timeout on 4th down, 9:10 to go in the 3rd.
They are a new breed of individual investor, and their numbers are growing. They know the power of information, and they don't act on impulse. They go into a stock armed with facts, building portfolios for the long haul. For this new breed of investor, a major new resource from NASDAQ, stock quotes, price performance, and soon company news and personal portfolio tracking. Accessible instantly over the internet at NASDAQ.com.
What if you could take on a whole new image? Would you be more elegant? More dynamic? More comfortable? One of the world's best performing luxury cars has an almost entirely new identity. The new Q45 from Infiniti. Everything changes but the soul.
Man, nothing like a new pair of Nike Turf trainers.
Yeah, you know, Steve Young works out in the Air Zoom Fly.
Oh, can that guy hustle? All right. Hey, you're Steve Young.
So, what do you think?
Nobody gets you closer to the game than Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Monday.
What is that light? Am I dead?
It's the shot of a lifetime.
You won the chance to win $1 million.
With NBA great Penny Hardaway on $1 Million Cosby's Big Comedy Monday.
Well, the Hurricanes had to take a timeout as there was a mix-up on their punt team. And a costly timeout as they will punt it into the wind here. Short punt. Takes a Hurricane bounce. Shawn Scales will let it roll. And good field position for the Hokies at their own 33-yard line. A 42-yard punt thanks to the good roll.
Miami had too many men on the field on the punt team. Nate Brooks is confused as to where he needs to line up, and all of a sudden they needed to take a timeout and get organized. Very costly timeout in that particular position. What you'd like to do is take a delay of game. You're going to punt anyway. 5 more yards of field position isn't as critical as a timeout at this stage.
I wonder, unless they were thinking, you know, they're into the wind, and so therefore they're going to be looking at a short punt anyway. As it is, the Hokies have a first down with good field position, and Druckenmiller hits Stuewe, Michael Stuewe, the junior wideout from Somerset, New Jersey. And a first down inside the 50-yard line into Miami territory.
Stuewe's one of the 5 walk-ons that play a significant role for Virginia Tech. There's a little play-action pass off the sweep. Good fake by Druckenmiller, and he just hit Stuewe right over the middle.
First down, Virginia Tech at midfield. Druckenmiller changing up the call. They jump to the split back set. Get the play off. Druckenmiller gets time, and just off the hands of Cornelius White. He had the man open. Druckenmiller knew exactly what he was doing.
Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator of Virginia Tech, is not going to be happy about that. They have dropped some balls at Virginia Tech this season, and it has cost them dearly. one of the reasons they're not throwing as often is because of the drop passes.
White had a good chance at this. The ball was right there for him. And he had a drop back in the first half as well. 2nd and 10. Give to the fullback. That is Edmonds. And Edmonds gets about 4 on the play. Yeah, now they're going to mark him back with his knee down after just a 2-yard pickup. 3rd down, nearly 9. So the Hokies will try to keep it going here. Miami been able to stop them in the second half here in the 3rd quarter. Druckenmiller steps up well, finds a man, and it is complete for the 1st down. That is Edmonds, who made an excellent catch with a defender hanging on him, and boy, did Druckenmiller deliver that ball.
You expect your quarterback to make big plays for you, and that's exactly what Jim Druckenmiller did here. He steps up in the pocket. The rush of Miami is just about ready to get him, but he steps forward in the pocket, buying himself more time, therefore able to complete the pass. Great pocket work by the quarterback.
Excellent job, and a 1st down, Virginia Tech. Kenny Holmes coming off the field, the starting defensive end, the senior from Gifford, Florida.
You got to get him back in the lineup as soon as you can. He's one of the big pass rushers for the Miami Hurricanes. They need that pressure on the outside.
Booker Pickett in to replace him, number 53. 1st down, Hokies. Good block at the point of attack, and Marcus Parker gets about 5. Twan Russell made the tackle.
Russell, bring him down.
Well, as we said, they haven't won here in 7 tries at the Orange Bowl and haven't done much in any of the stat departments.
No, but they're playing much better and much on a more even keel with Miami today than they ever have in any of their previous appearances. And remember, they beat Miami last year 13-7 in their home stadium, so they have confidence against this Miami team.
This is Parker with a burst of speed and a 1st down inside the 25. Russell made the stop for the Canes.
Boy, it's a good run by Marcus Parker. The offensive line gets a crease for him, and 64, the right guard, DiNapoli, he throws a key block, but Parker, he's a powerful, big, strong runner, and he's coming downhill at you. That wears the defense out after a while. You keep putting that guy at you.
Not only that, they've been dividing the time with Oxendine so that they've both been fresh horses in there, as Miami has done with their running backs. And there's Parker running hard again down near the 20-yard line.
Well, Virginia Tech is definitely running the football better this half than they did in the first half. They've reestablished their attitude of toughness, physicalness. That's the kind of game they want. And the guy that's been able to let them hang in the game thus far is Jim Druckenmiller. He's hit enough balls to keep them in this game, even though they don't have a lot of points.
He made a big 3rd and 10 there to Edmonds, the fullback, to keep the drive alive. 2nd and 5 on the 20. Shift to the eye. Play action option, and they give it to the fullback, Edmonds, who gets maybe a yard. Well, we want to remind you folks that as a special Thanksgiving treat, CBS Sports presents figure skating at its finest. The United States team, featuring Scott Hamilton, Brian Boitano, and Paul Wiley, take on the world team in Katarina Witt, Victor Petrenko, and Kurt Browning in Ice Wars. Thanksgiving Day, 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, and Friday, November 29th at 9 Eastern, 8 Pacific, here on CBS Sports. From the shotgun, Druckenmiller, and to flare it out to Parker. Coley jumped all over him, and there was a man who had his hand around the ankle of Druckenmiller as he made the throw. Holmes had a piece of him.
There's a flag on the play, Tim, and Kennard Lang, 96, the defensive left end of Miami, jumped off sides. It's going to give Virginia Tech either a 1st down or very close to a 1st down.
Offside. Defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. The penalty will give Virginia Tech a 1st down.
There's Kennard Lang. He's the player that violates the neutral zone, and the ball snapped. They caught him, and sure enough, Virginia Tech makes the first down on a penalty.
So a break for the Hokies, and they're now down at the 15-yard line of Miami. 4:55 to go in the third, still tied at 7. Pitch out for Parker. Parker hit hard. Twan Russell, number 45, the linebacker, a good lick on him after a gain of about 3 at the most.
Twan Russell, 45. He's one of the best space players that Miami has. He has great speed. He's able to track this play down from behind. That's the kind of speed that's made Miami one of the dominant teams in the country throughout the entire 80s and 90s. That is what separates them from a lot of different squads in the country.
Burgess there to help him. It turns into a 2-yard gain. 10th play of this drive for the Hokies. Play action in the end zone. Touchdown, a diving grab by Stuewe. Michael Stuewe at the back of the end zone. And Druckenmiller delivers the goods. The Hokies go on top.
Michael Stuewe runs down the sideline and then back into the middle of the defense against Dwayne Starks, 23. He just beats him man on man. Druckenmiller put the ball right where he needed to. Michael Stuewe, you love that. That's a walk-on. That's a guy that walked onto that program, wanted a chance to play for Virginia Tech.
And the point after is good. Michael Stuewe, a junior from Somerset, New Jersey, has the Hokies on top 14-7.
Dear Mom, camp is rough. Being out in the wild sure makes a kid hungry. But the sandwiches we got just aren't enough. It makes me homesick for you and a hot bowl of Campbell's tomato soup.
Nothing turns an ordinary sandwich into a hot, satisfying meal like rich, wholesome Campbell's tomato soup.
Mom?
I brought you something for those sandwiches.
Wow, tomato soup. You're the best, Mom.
Campbell's makes everything.
Better.
What if you could take on a whole new image? Would you be more elegant? More dynamic? More comfortable? One of the world's best performing luxury cars has an almost entirely new identity. The new Q45 from Infiniti. Everything changes but the soul.
The CBS star of college football today is sponsored by Infiniti. The new Q45. Everything changes but the soul.
Pat O'Brien and Greg James here in our New York studios talk about our star of the day, and boy, was he a star of the day. Notre Dame's Allen Rossum brought back 2 punts for touchdowns.
Hey, this is unbelievable. The guy has been rocking and rolling on special teams all season. 3 punt returns and 1 kickoff return for the season for touchdowns. Today he had 2. Rossum giving Lou Holtz a little farewell party here on the punt return team. If he does indeed leave, Lou Holtz will be remembered as the best special teams coach ever at Notre Dame.
So the story of the day was Lou Holtz. The star of the day, Allen Rossum.
Good luck.
Marcus Whipperly,
Terry Donahue, you're going to love that Allen Rossum at Notre Dame. This is Jim Druckenmiller, is so far the star for Virginia Tech. That's very eager quarterback doing a great job. And there's the guy who caught the touchdown pass. Michael Stuewe worked in the specials here on the kickoff squad. And it's a good kickoff into the end zone. I wanted to say about Stuewe that he's been working with strength coach Mike Gentry. 3 years ago as a walk-on, he weighed 159 pounds, and he only weighed 170. He's all the way up to 188. He now benches 260. He was running a 4.840, now runs a 4.440, and he's improved his vertical leap by 7 inches. So there's a walk-on with a mission, helped by strength coach Mike Gentry, and he comes up big here.
Well, Frank Beamer talked about Mike Gentry, and he told me, he said, hiring Mike Gentry was the best move I ever made at Virginia Tech. They are a very strong, physical football team.
Well, we talked about Druckenmiller and how strong he is, and that guy is another good example of what they've been able to achieve there. All right, Miami, first down from their 20. Trent Jones finds some real estate open and takes it all the way to the 34-yard line of the Canes. First down, Miami. 3:55 to go, third quarter.
13 yards.
Canes going into the wind. They'll have the wind for the fourth quarter, although we do want to say again, it has begun to swirl more here in the second half than it did in the first, where it was more straight up and down the field. But essentially, they're into the wind. Jones again. A lot of room in the middle there. Picks up nearly 6. Let's go down to Michelle Tafoya.
All right, guys. Well, since last year was the first time Virginia Tech ever managed to beat Miami, we asked the coaching staff of the Hurricanes, does your team truly understand the importance of today's game? And Butch Davis said, quote, if they don't, then they've been asleep all week. And defensive coordinator Bill Miller said he's been losing all sleep, wondering that same thing. Is my team ready? If they can come back and win this game, probably everyone will sleep a whole lot better tonight, guys.
Well, Michelle's right. Bill Miller was very concerned about whether his defense could stop Virginia Tech.
Well, they make the stop on that play. The loss of about a half-yard. Cornell Brown. He's missed 3 games this year.
The Virginia Tech coaches have asked Cornell Brown to step up his game this particular week. He's coming off of suspension and a knee operation. He's not had the kind of year they anticipated, but he is making his presence felt today.
Well, this is a big game in the Big East, and big players are expected to step up. He's an All-American, slated as NFL caliber quality. 14 sacks a year ago. He's got 4 this year, despite having missed 3 games, as we said. Pressure on Clement, and he's buried. Back at the 22-yard line, the 3rd sack on Clement. Semones and Prelo combine to get him.
One of the strengths of Virginia Tech's defensive coordinator, Bud Foster, is you never know when and where he's going to bring the pressure. He can blitz in any field position he likes. This is a pressure defense. Ryan Clement had no chance. There were 3 Virginia Tech defenders in there to make that stop. A great call by Bud Foster.
Whoa, and Crosland had to hurry to get that punt off. And this time it takes a hokey bounce, and it is going to be spotted at the 49-yard line of Miami, just a 22-yarder into the wind. The snap a little off the mark.
23 yards.
Virginia Tech is known as a great punt rush team. Keion Carpenter from the middle has 4 blocks this season. He slips a personal protector, and he almost gets held there. They're so concerned about him being such a factor on punt rush.
Well, like Tremaine Mack of Miami, you've got 2 of the best in the country at that particularly difficult task. The Hokies start inside Miami territory. 1:31 to go in the 3rd. Virginia Tech by 7. Oxendine. Nowhere to go. Good pursuit that time by the Canes.
Boy, and a great play by number 90, Kenny Holmes. You mentioned big players stepping up in big games, and they're trying to fight through here to the Big East Championship. He really defeated the block of the offensive player and played that sweep perfectly. That's why a lot of people regard him as one of the very top defensive ends in the country.
Jim Druckenmiller now has a 2nd and 13. Whoa, what a hit there. Good job to hold on by James Crawford, number 13, making his first catch. Got about 4 yards on the play, maybe, well, more than that. Give him 5.
You've got to be courageous, and you have to be able to catch balls over the middle. James Crawford does just that, and James Burgess, he loves that kind of an opportunity. That's an open field tackle. That can excite a defensive team and get them to play at a higher level. That kind of a hit.
Crawford, fortunately for him, a big guy, 6'2", 207 from Blacksburg. Home of the Hokies. Druckenmiller steps inside, but he is nailed. 2nd Miami sack, and it's Holmes who gets it.
We just talked about Kenny Holmes and how he needed to step forward. He comes from the top of the screen on the right side against Jay Haywood, number 71. Haywood has not been able to handle Holmes this afternoon. That's been a bad matchup.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Virginia Tech 14, Miami 7. We'll return to the Orange Bowl after this message and a word from your local station.
What if you could take on a whole new image? Would you be more elegant? More dynamic? More comfortable? One of the world's best performing luxury cars has an almost entirely new identity. The new Q45 from Infiniti. Everything changes but the soul.
No witnesses.
If we get caught together, I'm gonna know what happened in that house.
CBS Sunday, November 24th. In cold blood.
CBS. Welcome home.
The enormously enjoyable 2-liter 16-valve cab-forward Dodge Neon sedan. Boy, is it big inside. Say hello to Dodge Neon at your friendly Dodge dealer.
This is News 7 Newsbreak.
Good evening. A man whose crime spree ended in a high-speed chase in Roanoke received a life sentence. 23-year-old Shawn Michael Love was sentenced yesterday. Love went on a robbery rampage after killing his ex-girlfriend in Prince George County. Roanoke investigators are taking a close look at the city's juvenile detention home after allegations of excessive force. And Garden City residents will get $2 million in federal aid to help them move out of a floodplain. Those stories and much more on News 7 at 7.
ACS Home Entertainment Gallery and Mitsubishi presents the most brilliant visual experience on a scale never seen before. The world's only 40-inch big tube television, but something even larger is on the horizon. Buy any Mitsubishi Big Tube, Big Screen, or VCR and pay no money down, no payments, and no accrued interest until January 1998. At ACS Home Entertainment Gallery.
Tonight at midnight on your hometown station.
We are back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Virginia Tech leading 14-7, and that is Kenny Holmes, one of the leaders on the Miami team, the senior, reminding his teammates the fourth quarter belongs to us. Tech would have liked one more play before the quarter ended because they're kicking into the wind. And Kibble's punt is short. And bounces upfield and now starts to roll for the Hokies. But Miami will start from their 27-yard line. And they trail by 7. Let's go to Pat O'Brien for an update. Pat?
All right, Tim, Georgia has crept within 7 of Auburn after this Mike Bobo to Hines Ward 67-yard touchdown pass. The Bulldogs now trail 28-21 to Auburn. Bobo's 8th touchdown pass, just his 8th on the season. Back to Tim and Terry Donahue.
Thank you, Patrick. Miami down by 7 here at the Orange Bowl. 14:50 to go. We're just underway in the fourth. Torrian Gray has not returned to the secondary of the Virginia Tech Hokies. He's out with receiving an IV for cramp problems. This is Clement. Clement complete. The Adil Green, and he's also had hamstring problems but continues to play, and Clement grabs his ankle.
Ryan Clement got hurt. His ankle got hurt. He was under a lot of pressure once again from 58 Cornell Brown and the other defensive end, 87 John Engelberger. They put the heat on it. Clement hung right in there. He's a tough physical quarterback. He hung in there. The ball was delivered on time, but Engelberger, 87, and Cornell Brown, they're the two that put the hit on him.
Engelberger drove him right over the other pass rusher.
It's his right ankle. gets twisted.
Clement comes to the sidelines under his own power, and we'll be right back at the Orange Bowl.
Xerox. What's the perfect gift for the whole family? The gift of Prime Star satellite television. Up to 95 channels in digital picture and sound, and you don't have to buy the dish. You get everything you need, starting at about $1 a day. And now, if you sign up for multi-channel HBO, Cinemax, or Stars in the Encore Multiplex, you'll get the first month free. It's our gift to you and the perfect gift for your family. Call 1-800-PRIME-STAR or visit your local Radio Shack and enjoy the holidays.
I'm not everyone. I'm me. So when I decided to quit smoking, I did not choose that one-size-fits-all patch. I chose Nicorette gum. Nicorette has this flexible dosing schedule that helped me control my cravings. It let me use the strength I needed, the amount I needed, when I needed it. Nicorette was personal. It fit me. You know, me the non-smoker. Me.
Commit to quit for the great American Smokeout on November 21st. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
The last thing Miami needed was for Ryan Clement to get hurt. He is sidelined right now with an ankle injury to the right ankle that it has him in severe pain, guys, to the point of nausea. We'll get more word in a moment.
Sophomore Scott Covington has come in to replace him. And Edgerrin James on first down. His first appearance here in the second half. Picks up about 4. There is Scott Covington. He's a sophomore from Laguna Niguel, California. He has appeared in 6 games this season, and he had to come in the East Carolina game in which Clement suffered his left shoulder separation. Covington played well in that game. The following game against West Virginia, he himself had a punctured lung, and Clement had to play with that sore shoulder because Covington couldn't go in that game. It was another gutty performance by Clement as they won that thriller in the final minute of the game, as you recall. Covington, the sophomore, now in charge. Added James again, and they string him wide. Good defensive work this time by the Hokies. And it is Prelo and Steve Tate. Tate's still in there for the injured Tony Morrison.
When you have a quarterback change like this, sometimes the defense just goes ahead and dares the offense to throw. They just stack too many people up on the line of scrimmage to run the ball. There's 10 people up there, all within the tackling picture. That's why it's so hard to get the ball started down the field.
Miami with their second unit offensive line, with the exception again of center Casey Jones. They're getting their time, as they usually do, at least a series in each half. And there's ice on the ankle of Ryan Clement.
He's not going to come back in the game, Tim. I've seen that too many times with those ankles.
Third down and a first down pickup on the pass to Magic Benton. So Covington delivers an important third down pass.
I think you'll see Miami, Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, the entire offensive line for Miami is returned from last year. So they have experience up there. They're going to rely on those players to open up some running games, and then go ahead and just let Scott Covington be an opportunistic thrower. Throw underneath routes once in a while. Keep the pressure on Virginia Tech by keeping them off balance. That's the kind of style they're going to use with this guy.
He got some time in the Temple game, as he has in 6 games in all this year, and watching him on tape, even though that game was over by the time he got in terms of the score in favor of Miami. He's an impressive-looking young quarterback. Goes off to James, and the Hokies all over that one. 3 defenders there, led by Prelo and Engelberger. Let's go once again to Michelle down on the sidelines. Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Tim. Well, Ryan Clement, obviously with the ice on the right ankle, it is sprained. He is out for the game, and as I mentioned, in a great deal of pain right now. Tim?
Well, we'll try and get an official word on that. Until x-rays, I'm sure they won't be able to tell us much more than what we can see there. Pain in the ankle of Ryan Clement, and ice on to reduce the swelling.
You know, I watched Scott Covington play in high school. He's from Southern California. He's been in situations where he's taken his team to lots of come-from-behind victories at that level. He's a good-looking quarterback, as you mentioned, Tim. He's got all the mechanics, and he's got some college experience. He can win this game for Miami. He just needs to perform. Larry Coker.
Prior to the snap, encroachment by contact, defense. 5 yards, repeat second down.
Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, will just be careful on how he uses them. And here's what's at stake. They've got to continue in the race for the Big East Championship.
Miami a half game back of Syracuse. Virginia Tech in desperate need of a win. If they lose here today, they're out of the picture. 5-yard penalty against the Hokies. Encroachment on the defensive side. 2nd and 7. Covington, he's got a man. It's Gator. Pulled down by Lauren Johnson. And Covington right on the mark to Tony Gator. First down, Miami.
Virginia Tech has packed 8 men on the line of scrimmage, isolating the wide receivers one-on-one. Tony Gator, the fastest Hurricane of all of them, just runs an inside route. Covington put the ball on the money. Excellent throw and reception. Tony Gator can do something with that ball after he catches it, too. This guy can fly. He's a converted running back.
Covington has hit 3 of 3 so far. That's James. Edgerrin James, the freshman running back, number 32. Stopped by Kerwin Hairston. Got a little more than 2 yards on the play.
You know, Tim, when you lose your starting quarterback, a couple things happen to you. If your backup has experience, if he's played some, that's one situation. That's a plus. That's what Miami is in. They have got some experience with Covington. He has played for them. If your quarterback hasn't played at all, hasn't taken many reps in practice, it's usually a game or two before you can adjust. That won't be the case with Miami and Scott Covington.
They spotted James for only a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9. Play action, and Covington just escapes the rush. And what a pass as he inbounds. No. Great effort by Covington to the tight end Jones. He made a fine catch as well, but out of bounds.
Once again, Virginia Tech came with the blitz. Brandon Semones, one of the outside linebackers, along with the rover, Pearson Prelo, they are the ones. Covington shows great mobility there, saves a huge loss, at least gets rid of the ball. And Chrissy Jones, he makes a nice reception. They just ran out of room.
Now the sophomore in a spot here, 3rd and 9, big play time. Short drop, delivers to the tight end Daphnis, stopped short of the first down. Now what does Miami do here? 11:07 to go, down by 7.
Boy,
Gray and Johnson made the tackle. Torrian Gray has returned to the secondary of Virginia Tech.
The tight ends have really been utilized by Miami today because they're so thin at wide receiver. So they're getting the ball to Chrissy Jones, Gerald Daphnis, Fulcher. All 3 of the tight ends have been factors in Miami's throwing game.
Now this is a department that both these teams are good at. They can block kicks. Let's see what Virginia Tech can do here. Crosland trying the field goal, gets it off from 38 yards away. It is no good. The Hokies hold off the Canes. 10:30 to go, 4th quarter. Virginia Tech 14, Miami 7.
These aliens are killing us. We need some help.
Right away, Your Airness. McDonald's! Behold.
Now only at McDonald's. Collect these fun Looney Tunes stuffed characters from the new movie Space Jam. Just $2.99 each with the purchase of a new deluxe or any other large sandwich.
Way to go, Dandy.
How about we go out and kick some alien butt?
Space Jam at McDonald's. Come hungry. Leave stuffed.
The legendary chalice of Malta has never come cheap. In 1238, it was captured by 10,000 Celts. In 1512, it took an entire armada. And in 1703, it took an arranged marriage to the daughter of Charles V, the older one. But luckily, if you want the golden chalice of Malta, all you need is the golden card of Visa, with extraordinary purchase power for extraordinary things. It's even mightier than the sword. Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
I got a lot accomplished this week.
Thanks to Jimmy's versatility.
Let's see. Hauled the love seat in for reupholstering on Monday.
Thanks to Jimmy's cargo space.
Took the kids to soccer practice Wednesday.
With its spacious interior and luxury ride.
Bought groceries.
You can do a lot in a Jimmy.
And now, a weekend getaway.
Jimmy by GMC. It puts you comfortably in command.
CBS Sports coverage of college football is sponsored by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Nicorette Gum. You can do it. Nicorette can help. And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
A 38-yard field goal try by Crosland. It might have been tipped by Waverly Jackson. What do you think, Terry?
In the middle, he gets a hand up. It's hard to tell, but it looked like he may have tipped that ball.
May well have deflected, but hard to tell.
Fingertip tip if it was.
Crosland was 9 of 10 in the field goal department coming into the game. He's missed 2 here with the win today. And on first down, the Hokies give it to Marcus Parker. He gets a couple before he's swarmed under. Let's go to Pat O'Brien in New York for an update.
We'll enjoy this. Syracuse has gone up 7-0 in the Carrier Dome over Army on this Malcolm Thomas 3-yard run. It was Thomas's 7th rushing TD of the season. Army's 9-0 on the season, but they trail early in this game. Back to you.
Well, Syracuse, unbeaten in Big East competition and trying to chalk up a win over Army, having an outstanding year. 3-yard pickup on first down, 2nd and 7. Parker is stopped after about a 2-yard pickup by James Burgess, who's really been throwing some big hits. And there's quarterback Ryan Clement. And Clement looks like he was actually headed back onto the field. I mean, you know he'd go if he could. Crutches and all.
That guy would. He'd go with the crutches.
Instead, he's just talking to the guys upstairs. Still very much involved in the game. The next offensive series, Scott Covington will continue at quarterback.
Ryan Clement can help during this game. He can really help Covington. Miami's coming on the blitz.
4 wideouts in. And it is caught by White, and he gets the first down. What a good job by Cornelius White, who's had a couple of drops, but has made a couple of key catches.
Coley brought down White.
Twan Russell came on the blitz, put tremendous pressure on Druckenmiller from the side. He can really explode and come off, takes a heck of a hit, but the ball is thrown on time. It's so important when you're throwing those kind of routes that it's on time. Cornelius White was on time for the quarterback.
Druckenmiller 14 of 20 now. That one nearly broken up, nearly picked off. I mean, broken up by Earl Little. Diving in there to try and steal it, he knocked it away.
Is broken up by Little.
A lot of players playing hurt in this game. Little has left the field twice with injury.
You want your defensive backs to be able to break on throws. Earl Little does exactly that. He breaks on that ball, knocking it away. Great defensive play, clean pick.
Little, the senior from North Miami. Steady performance by him. Had a collision earlier with a big fullback Edmonds back in the first half. Druckenmiller from the shotgun has to get it away quickly against the rush of Russell. And it's incomplete, intended for Shawn Scales.
Once again, Miami has turned up the heat here with the pressure. Twan Russell, 45. He's the guy that's going to come in unblocked, and he's the one that puts the pressure on Druckenmiller. He can't quite get the ball delivered. Excellent defensive call by Miami.
Big play here. 8:47 to go, 3rd and 10. 32-yard line of the Hokies who lead by 7. Druckenmiller steps up, bought some time, and his receiver taken down, and no call. Shawn Scales looked like he was tackled by Coley.
Well, they missed one on that one, Tim. They missed one on that one. That was flagrant pass interference by Tony Coley.
Well, I tell you, the Hokies were lucky it wasn't intercepted because the only available receiver was taken out of the play by Coley.
Jim Druckenmiller did a great job stepping up in the pocket once again. But you see at the very end there, Tony Cooley definitely took Shawn Scales down. Frank Beamer was upset. He had a right to be.
So the Hokies will have to punt. Break for the Canes. Kibble. Look at that ball hang up in the wind. It's starting to back up in the wind. Takes a Hokie, a Miami Hurricane bounce and is down at the 49. A 19-yard punt into that stiff wind.
Girls, did you see today's paper?
You mean about Candace going into hiding?
Isn't it a shame? It's Sprint's dime-a-minute rate. It's so popular, she's mobbed everywhere she goes.
And now I hear they've gone and improved it.
Now you can get 10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day to the number you call the most.
10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day?
Nobody's ever going to see Candace again.
Never.
You got that right.
Call now for 10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day to the number you call the most.
With more than 6,000 mutual funds, choosing the right one for you can be overwhelming. Charles Schwab helps simplify the process. We provide over 900 funds, many without loads or commissions, and many that financial advisors prefer most. Then to make it even easier, we use risk and return data from Morningstar to determine the historically high performers and put them all together in the select list, only from Schwab. Call 1-800-5-NO-LOAD to get your free 6-month subscription.
The Heisman Watch, sponsored by Charles Schwab, investing the way it should be.
Welcome back to our studios in New York. I'm Pat O'Brien along with Craig James. Let's take a look at our Heisman candidates, see how they did today. Let's start with Danny Werfel, who had struggled a little bit, but had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the 2 interceptions because he doesn't have an offensive line. They're beat up on the offensive line right now, not doing very good there. But Byron Hanspard, though, Pat, Byron Hanspard is showing a lot of stamina, rushing for 257 and 4 touchdowns this late in the season. Pretty impressive.
Took the words out of my mouth. And then Peyton Manning led Tennessee 55-14 homecoming win over Arkansas, 28 for 41, 282 yards.
Lack of a ground game really hurting Tennessee right now as a ball club, but those guys do right. Werfel's the guy, though. November 13th, ballots went out.
He's got it. Congratulations.
Send it in.
Whoa, some tough guys there. Nonetheless,
I have to agree with him.
There may not be a Heisman Trophy candidate in this game, but there's some tough football players playing a whale of a game. 14 points for Virginia Tech, 7 for Miami. Hurricane ball, first down. On their own 49, and Covington, it's dropped by Benton. Magic Benton dropped the pass perfectly on the mark from the sophomore quarterback.
Magic Benton has got to come up with this reception. Scott Covington puts the ball right where he needs to. Benton just runs down the field, runs an inside route. It's a deep route, and Lauren Johnson, 12, really separates him from the ball with a great hit. That's a heck of a hit.
I think the ball was already separated before he got hit, Terry. Yeah, I think it was maybe a little look there. We've got 2nd and 10. Jones picks up about 3. It's been a very well-played football game. Virginia Tech opened first after a long drive. Oxendine took it in from a yard out. Miami came back the other way later in the quarter. Chris Jones on a pass from Ryan Clement, and then Michael Stuewe, the go-ahead score, a diving grab of a pass from Druckenmiller that made it 14-7. Don't forget, Miami was down on the 1-yard line as the half came to a close, and after some confusion as to whether to go for a field goal or try to take it in, they missed the 22-yarder. And Covington delivers again, and the ball is pried loose. It'll be an incomplete pass. Taken away by Lauren Johnson, but Yatil Green simply could not hold on long enough for that to be a completion.
You've got to give Scott Covington credit. He stands in there against the blitz. Yatil Green wanted the ball a little bit earlier. He finally gets it, and Torrian Gray, they're lucky they got him back into the game because he did separate him from the ball that time. Torrian Gray is a special player for Virginia Tech. He's one of the outstanding free safeties in the country, and he showed it on that play.
They got Green working on Midget, the freshman quarterback, on the play. So Miami stopped by the Hokies, running with the wind. Crosland angling, Semones keep it out? No. It'll be a touchback.
49 yards.
Brooks chasing it into the end zone, trying to knock it back out. A 49-yard punt. Good effort by Brooks here, but can't quite get there in time. So Virginia Tech, with 7:31 to go, has the lead and the football from their own 20. Scott Covington, you got to be impressed with how he's played in this second half since coming in for Ryan Clement.
Well, Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator at Miami, he told us yesterday that this game was going to challenge us physically. It was going to challenge us competitively. The rubber's going to hit the road here real fast. Miami's got to come up with a key defensive series right now.
Oxendine on first down with a flag on the play. Oxendine got only a couple before he was buried. And it is Jay Haygood, the starting left tackle for the Hokies, who is down and injured. And the preliminary call will be holding against Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, Marvin Davis is out of the game defensively for Miami. Not expected to return. Their starter at left defensive tackle.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Davis, we started to say, out with a left foot sprain. He was a backup for Michael Lawson, who was out of the game with an ankle injury suffered in their last outing against Temple.
Jay Haygood, the left offensive tackle, all 315 pounds of him, gets twisted around and hit from behind by Twan Russell.
First down.
So with this timeout on the field with the injury to Haygood, we'll take a timeout and be right back.
I got a lot accomplished this week.
Thanks to Jimmy's versatility.
Let's see. Hauled the love seat in for reupholstering on Monday.
Thanks to Jimmy's cargo space.
Took the kids to soccer practice Wednesday.
With its spacious interior and luxury ride.
Bought groceries.
You can do a lot in a Jimmy.
And now, a weekend getaway.
Jimmy by GMC. It puts you comfortably in command.
Hey, Jimmy, how's the leg?
Leg's just fine.
Doesn't look too good.
No pain at all.
The way you banged it up the other day?
No problem. Doctor gave me Tylenol. Extra strength.
Tylenol? Is that kind of pain?
Just watch me, son.
For the pain of traumatic injuries, Tylenol is recommended the most by doctors.
Hey, Brad. How's my leg?
Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
You've been thinking about getting a digital satellite dish. And thinking some more. Well, think about this. The people at Radio Shack can answer your questions. Plus, now they've got great deals. Own an RCA brand DSS dish with programming for about $1 a day plus installation. Up to 200 channels of select movies and sports available on USSB and DirecTV. Think about it. Better yet, stop thinking about it. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Monday, Ted's looking at a little competition.
Nice look with the hair, by the way. Shouldn't you be off at the monastery baking bread?
Jay Thomas stars on Ink after Cosby, CBS Big Comedy Monday.
It has been a hard-fought, very physical football game. A number of players have been in and out on both sides of the ball, and right now Jay Haygood, the starting offensive tackle for the Hokies of Virginia Tech, is still down on the field and getting lots of expert attention there, and they will be very careful with this young man, a senior from Easley, South Carolina. And they're taking their time here to determine, if they can, what his injury is, and we won't speculate, but they're being real careful with him.
I remember in the bowl game last year, Tony Bracken, the outstanding defensive end from Texas, played against Jay Haygood, and he stated that Jay Haygood was the best pass blocker that he had ever worked against.
You can see the Hokies bench a little concerned here about Jay Haygood. Coaching staff upstairs, nobody likes to see a player get hurt, even a minor injury, and we hope that's what this one is, but they're being very, very careful with Jay Haygood. We've seen a number of players, as we pointed out, who have been hurt in this game. A number of them have come back and continue to play, like Yatil Green and Earl Little of Miami. Both left the game and came back. but there's been a couple who haven't. Ryan Clement with an ankle injury. Marvin Davis, defensive tackle for Miami, has not returned from his injury. And Tony Morrison, the linebacker for the Hokies, unable to come back after he was hurt. So it's been a rough, tough football game. It's taken its toll.
Well, and you have to question this kind of an injury where the game is delayed so long. The momentum from both the offense and the defense is taken away. And I mentioned prior to the injury.
There's the best sign right there. Hagan up on his feet.
Get that big old guy on his feet. Look. He's all of 313 pounds,
at least,
too.
Yeah. Well, there's a good sign. That's a relief for everybody to see Jay Haygood leaving with just some assistance.
Going back to the momentum, this is a time now you've got to recapture the momentum, whether you're coaching defense or offense. The key is who can capture it the quickest. Miami, this we mentioned prior to the injury, this is a key defensive series for the Miami defense. They've got to get the ball back for their offense.
Derek Smith, number 74, a sophomore from Kearneyville, comes in to replace him. Haygood at left tackle. Chad Pegues is in at left defensive tackle, replacing the injured Marvin Davis for Miami. First down and 20. Oxendine, nice running. Oxendine battling almost for the first down. He'll be about 2 yards short. Ken Oxendine, the Big East rushing leader, showing why. Wimberly on the hit.
Derek Smith had just come in at left tackle, and he's working against Kenny Holmes, number 90, and he makes a good block. Holmes jumped inside too quickly. That allowed Oxendine to get the ball outside. The defense was unsound once that happened.
Second and a yard. Fake to Oxendine. Little flare outside to Scales, and Scales has the first down over the 40-yard line. Haygood being attended to on the bench, and it looks like he's feeling much better. Let's go down to Michelle Tafoya for a report.
All right, Tim. Well, Jay Haygood, they were able to get his helmet off with little problem. The word is he has a concussion, obviously out for the game. They're checking on his eyesight, talking to him, asking him specific questions, and so far he's responding pretty well, but out for the game, guys.
Thanks, Michelle. We talked about the wind and the possibility of rain. Well, it's here. Oxendine buried for a loss on first down. Lost at least 2.
Boy, that was well played by the Miami front. The entire front of Miami's defense was able to just gobble up that play as quick as it was run.
Burgess, the linebacker, Starks, the cornerback, coming up to make the hit, utilizing all of that traffic of the big guys in front of them, breaking up the blocks.
Both defensive fronts, both Virginia Tech and Miami, have played well against the running game.
Rain is blowing in now from the open end of the Orange Bowl. Druckenmiller with 2nd and 11, closer to 12. Oxendine and another good defensive play. Burgess having a huge second half for the Hurricanes, number 54.
That's what you want your middle linebacker to do. The idea of this defense is to keep the linebackers free. Fortney, number 99, Marvin Davis, number 93, they are the anchor points in the inside of this defense. If they can hold those linemen, that allows James Burgess to roam and make hits, and that's exactly what he's been doing in the second half.
3rd down and 10. A big situation here with 4:55 and counting. 4 wide receivers in for the Hokies. Druckenmiller in the shotgun. Crowd alive in the Orange Bowl. Druckenmiller pumped once and then was buried. 3rd sack. Kennard Lang, who had 9.5 sacks to lead the Canes coming into the game, comes up with another.
Kennard Lang, 96. He's working against T.J. Washington, 76 on the right side. He just pass rushes him, throws him out of the way, accelerates to the quarterback. Druckenmiller had to hold the ball. That's why the sack occurred.
Coverage sack, as he just couldn't find the open target. Kibble into punt, standing at his 20. Tremaine Mack ready to try and block it. That's his specialty. Starks waiting for it at the 35. Low snap. Kibble just got it away, and it's a dandy into the wind. Starks backed up to the 21. Starks 26-yard line. What an effort by the punter, Kibble. 44 yards into the wind. Just a 6-yard return. Another Hokie down who tripped as he tried to get to make a play on the return, and that is Shane Miles, a reserve tight end, number 40.
You know that Miami has been traditionally an outstanding punt block team. They come on a full rush here. The punter does a great job just hanging in there, not panicking, and getting that ball off, and did he hit it. Tremaine Mack was neutralized on the rush. They've got at least 2 guys. They're not going to let that guy block a punt. Frank Beamer probably told those guys, listen, I don't care what happened. Don't let that guy get the punt today like he did against West Virginia.
And he's had 9 block kicks in his 2 years playing for the Hurricanes. Meanwhile, this is Miles, who it appeared to me just simply tripped on the turf as he tried to catch up with Starks. So yet another player down, giving it his all in this big game. 3:44 to go. Hokies 14-7.
FedEx uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Costs about $8.
UPS uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost about $6.
The U.S. Postal Service uses over 15,000 airplanes to handle your priority mail 2 to 3-day package. Cost $3.
So, 8, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Miami with the ball. 3:44 to go. First down from their own 27-yard line. Scott Covington, the sophomore quarterback, in for the injured Ryan Clement. Connects again to Yatil Green. Covington now 5 of 8 since coming in for Clement here in the second half.
Sometimes you can get so excited trying to cover a punt, you can go on down by yourself. That's exactly what happened in this particular case. No one laid a hand on him. He just fell down.
Tripped over the yard line, it looked like to me. And
if he had the ball, I would have called that self-tackleization, right, but he didn't have the ball. You can't call it that.
It's my absolutely favorite football expression coined by you, self-tackleization. You'll have to come up with one to cover that. First down, Hurricanes from the 42-yard line. Pumps once, Covington deep, that's way over everybody, and almost picked off by Anthony Midget, the freshman, but the wind took it even beyond his grasp.
Yatil Green has a hamstring problem. He did not show his ordinary speed throughout the entire route. You want your wide receivers to keep running. Virginia Tech did a good job. It was kind of a stutter and go. Covington threw it where he thought he would be. You know, Scott Covington, he's impressive. He's got a good throwing motion. The ball has some steam on it. He's an impressive quarterback.
Yes, he is. Green, for his part, 7 catches today, 102 yards for the Hurricanes. 2nd and 10. Oh, loose ball. Covington dives out on it. Problem with the exchange from center. Costly play will leave it 3rd and about 17 when they mark it.
Anytime you have a new quarterback, you always worry about exchange problems. Casey Jones, he's been the mainstay in that middle of the Miami line. That's on Scott Covington. I'd bet a dime to a dollar. Casey Jones has been reliable with that ball all year long.
It'll be 3rd and 16. 2:59 to go. Yet another big play situation. 3rd and long. Hokie showing blitz. They don't count. Covington has time and delivers first down to Yatil Green. Clutch play by the sophomore quarterback.
When you throw these kind of deep routes, you've got to have great protection. Miami's offensive line is giving Scott Covington that protection. Yatil Green gets to run all the way down the sideline, push the defensive back, and then break. Covington, he's a fired-up guy himself.
This has been one fine football game. A lot of excellent plays on the part of both teams, both offense and defense. First down, Canes, 45-yard line of Virginia Tech. They trail by 7, 2:45 to go. Covington. That ball is incomplete. Looked like it came off his fingertips and kind of took a dive on him, intended for dampness. Well, you can see Virginia Tech trying to get to 5-1 in the conference of the Big East. Miami would fall to 4-1.
And you know, it's more than that. Frank Beamer talked about Miami being a measuring stick for Virginia Tech. They measure their football program by Miami.
And they have West Virginia and Virginia remaining after this game. Does Virginia Tech. And that pass intended down the right side for Nick Williams, the fullback. And a little miscue, it appeared, between Covington and Williams there. Miami still has Syracuse left. Syracuse 5-0 in the conference, 6-2 overall. They play Boston College next week. BC a winner today.
Well, a loss for Miami isn't devastating. A loss for Virginia Tech is devastating, at least as far as the Big East Championship is concerned.
There's a two-way tie. It'll be determined by their head-to-head record against each other. Could go to a three-way tie. Then it would be complete to Yatil Green. Covington on the mark, and Green running hard. Can't stay in bounds, but he's down to the 15-yard line. Look at Yatil Green. He is limping with that hamstring.
We said earlier in the telecast, Yatil Green could be one of the best receivers in the history of Miami. He's working an inside route. He has all day long to run that route because of the protection that Scott Covington got. Virginia Tech elected to only rush 4 linemen. They did not put any pressure, any blitz on the Miami quarterback that time. He just had too long to throw the ball.
9 catches for Green, 152 yards on the day. And they've been working on the freshman corner midget with Green, the junior. The fade, and in and out of the hands of Benton. It was out of bounds, however. Had he caught it, he was out of bounds. Magic Benton, number 8.
The wide receiver has got to leave himself enough room so he can fade on the ball. The quarterback is always going to push the ball outside. This is a mental mistake by Magic Benton. He's too close to the sideline. The quarterback does not have that responsibility. The wide receiver does. He needs himself more room.
And again, they worked on midget, and he comes out. Keion Carpenter, the sophomore, number 1, comes in to replace him. They've been working midget overtime. Have the Hurricanes. Covington has time. There's a man open. Dropped by Tony Gator alone at the goal line.
Tony Gator runs down the field. He runs an out route. He turns number 12, Lauren Johnson, around. He's wide open. He just has to make this catch. He's got a touchdown. It hits him right in the hands. His hand position was wrong. He didn't have his hands in the proper position to catch that ball. Went right through him.
Hurricanes take a timeout with 3rd down. They need to get to the 4-yard line for a first. 2:17 remains on the clock.
That's a shame.
Miami with 1 more timeout remaining.
That's a shame they had to burn a timeout there. You really want to save those timeouts for your defensive unit. That's when you really need it. When you're down here, unless you have to get yourself reorganized, which they may very well had to do.
Nice moment by Magic Benton, consoling Gator for dropping that. Here's Ryan Clement. He's still in the game. Syracuse leading Army 7-0. We're live from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, where the rain is sweeping in, blown by gusting winds of 40 miles an hour. We've had the winds all day long for the past 2 or 3 days here in South Florida. Ryan Clement, the quarterback of the Miami Hurricanes, left the game with an ankle injury in the 3rd quarter. The sophomore Scott Covington has come in. He's done a good job. 10th play of this drive. Clement's been a cheerleader since he left. He has hit 18 of 27 passes. Oxendine opened the scoring early for Virginia Tech. Miami countered with Clement to Chris Jones after a long drive from 3 yards out. And then in the 3rd quarter, Michael Stuewe on a perfect strike from Druckenmiller made a diving catch in the end zone from 13 yards out, and that has produced this 14-7 game. Miami was on the 1-yard line at the end of the half and came up empty. And here they are, 3rd and 10. Covington will run it. Covington hit hard out of bounds inside the 10. It'll be 4th down.
One of the
interesting
things, Tim, is that Virginia Tech took Torrian Gray, a safety who plays in the middle of the defense normally. They moved him out on the end against Yatil Green to try and match up better, and took the young freshman Anthony Midget out. Great strategy by Virginia Tech, and he did a good job of covering Yatil Green.
Keion Carpenter moved into the safety spot normally occupied by Gray. They had just been working midget overtime. Miami on 4th down. Covington to the end zone, intercepted. Keion Carpenter. Carpenter could score. Touchdown. 100 yards. Keion Carpenter. There are flags down near the end zone. There may have been an illegal block down there, but it will nonetheless be Hokies ball no matter what.
I think it's excessive celebration, but I'll tell you one thing right now, Virginia Tech could probably care less.
1:54 remains. Scott Covington, who played so well replacing Clement, trying to get the score to tie the game up. But the Hokies, Keion Carpenter, and to follow your point, Terry, they took out Midget, the freshman, at corner. They moved Gray over to the corner and brought in Carpenter, the backup safety, and he comes up with the intercept.
Like conduct, celebration after the score against Virginia Tech. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
20-7. The Hokies lead it, 1:54 to go. Point after attempt coming up. Shane Graham. It is good. Virginia Tech leading Miami 21-7. Watch it again.
Miami's trying to hit Tony Gator, who runs an inside route. Right there, Keion Carpenter just picks it off, and he's going to take 100. Watch 55, Newsome. Watch the effort that linebacker has. He made one Miami man run around him, and here he is on Scott Covington. Look at the block. What an effort by Myron Newsome.
And Carpenter going 100 yards for what should be the clinching score. 1:54 remains. Frank Beamer looks like he ran nearly 100.
Well, he's trying to get all those guys. He's sick to his stomach. I know what he feels. He's trying to get his team not to celebrate. He doesn't want that penalty. They're going to back him up on the kickoff, and he knows that the game isn't totally over. Miami's got timeouts. There's 1 minute and 54 seconds. I'm telling you, you never want to celebrate at that time.
Frank ran out of wire there on his headset, trying to get down there to berate those players for that penalty. Ryan Clement finally looks a little beaten here. Boy, he hasn't given up on anything in this entire game, even when he was knocked out with an ankle injury. 1:54 remains. Virginia Tech 21-7. Let's take this opportunity to go to Pat O'Brien in New York. Pat?
All right, Tim. Georgia has overcome a 28-7 deficit to tie Auburn 28-all. Mike Bobo hits Corey Allen for a 30-yard touchdown pass. Look at that catch and effort. And it's not at the 28. We're in overtime.
All right, thank you, Pat. Good effort by Georgia down there today. A high, short kickoff into the wind. Knocked out of bounds right at the midfield stripe. They're going to mark it at the 48-yard line.
Boy, Miami was really lucky on that, Tim. They needed to fair catch that ball. No one handled the ball for Miami. They let that ball. It's a live ball after it goes 10 yards.
Right.
They were real lucky.
There were a bunch of Hokies there with a shot at it. The ball bounced once and went out of bounds.
They may give this ball to Virginia Tech. I don't know if he was out of bounds or not.
Not sure who touched the ball when it did come down inbounds. So there's a discussion here. Hokies no doubt will claim it should be their ball, but there is a signal for Miami. There have been 2 of them now, signaling possession Miami. Although that second signal may have been for a penalty against Virginia Tech. Let's wait and see.
This is a live ball 20 yards down the field, 25 yards down the field. Virginia Tech almost captured control of that.
Right along the sideline. We still don't have anything official yet.
We have a kickoff out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Miami elected to take the ball at the spot where it went out of bounds. First down.
Yeah, that's their choice. It was not touched by either team. Went out of bounds, untouched. And so Miami opting to take it where it went out at the 48-yard line of Virginia Tech. Hurricanes trail by 14. They have 1:54 left to make something happen. Covington continues at quarterback for the injured Ryan Clement. And it's in and out of the hands of Fulcher, the tight end.
You know, when you sit around when a ball game's over as a coaching staff, you talk about if we had done this, if we had done that. Tony Gator, he was wide open on this Miami pass. If he receives that, gets that ball in the end zone, they put the game into overtime. Instead, he makes the drop, and then all of a sudden, Keion Carpenter comes up with the 100-yard interception. You know, everybody says it's a game of inches, and it is. It's a game of inches.
Hey, bet it sure is today.
Hey, Mom. Come on.
Well, Georgia and Auburn are in overtime in their game, and at the conclusion of our game, we'll take you there for the finish. Covington gets time, has a man wide open. This is Gator. Gator surrounded by Hokies, still going. Tony Gator takes it out of bounds down at the 17-yard line with 1:37 on the clock.
That's why you say the football game's never over, as long as you have timeouts. Unfortunately, Miami burned a timeout earlier, but they've got 2 timeouts.
Well, they got
left.
one
timeout
remaining.
1 timeout left, but the game is really never over if you can just keep your team hanging in there. You never know what's going to happen with onside kicks. Tim, I got beat one time against the University of Michigan. We had the game locked up. They onside kicked me with about 25 seconds to go and ended up winning the game against us. You just never know.
And Miami came back in the final minute against West Virginia a couple of weeks ago. That's complete to Trent Jones. Mind you, they weren't down 14. That's the difference here. They're at the 11-yard line. Second down. A long 4. Miami takes their last timeout. 1:23 on the clock. Let's once again go down to Michelle Tafoya. Michelle?
Well, guys, I think we should all take a little heart in knowing that Ryan Clement at least has managed to maintain his sense of humor throughout this. Just a moment ago, he turned and looked at me and said, you know, you guys shouldn't cover our games. We lose every time you cover our games. And then he laughed and sat back down. Blame it on us, guys.
What a competitor, Ryan Clement. He'll find some reason to put a different picture on this game. Ankle injury taking the starter out. Scott Covington played awfully well, but unfortunately threw the pick there, and Keion Carpenter took it 100 yards for this touchdown that made it 21-7. Well, tonight on CBS, after all of the football feast is over, welcome home for America's Night of Television. We'll have all new episodes of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, Early Edition, and Walker, Texas Ranger. That's tonight on CBS. We'll be going to Auburn for overtime at the conclusion of the game here in the Orange Bowl. 1:23 to go. Covington, flare pass to Jones. Midget dropped him. Close to the first down. That won't matter so much. 1:10 to go. Longest interception for a touchdown in Virginia Tech history, the one by Keion Carpenter. Covington out for Jones. Jones tripped up at the 5-yard line. Rolls forward, and they'll spot it inside the 5. He has a first and goal with 50 seconds remaining.
Tim, even though it looks like Virginia Tech is going to prevail, Miami can still capture a share of the Big East title. They've got Boston College and Syracuse left. This was a must.
And that one is picked off or not? Was he out of bounds?
I think they gave it to him.
Torrian Gray made the catch in the end zone for Virginia Tech. And that is the last shot for Miami.
This was a must-win for Virginia Tech and Frank Beamer. Torrian Gray, a guy who played free safety and corner, working against Yatil Green. The ball's just overthrown a little bit by Covington. You know, this is the first time Miami's lost 3 in a row at home here in the Orange Bowl since the end of '84 and the beginning of the 1985 season. And this puts Virginia Tech, to me, on a different level. If you can beat Miami 2 years in a row, you've got to be so happy for your players and your coaches. This is a great win for Frank Beamer and the Hokies.
Well, we said that they were the best-kept secret among the ranked teams in the country. And again, as they did last year, going to the Sugar Bowl, beating Texas, they have proven that they are now genuinely in the elite of college football. Big win here at the Orange Bowl. And the irony is they'll be cheering for Miami when the Hurricanes play Syracuse, because Virginia Tech is very much alive for the Big East Championship. And of course, great bowl opportunities. And they let the clock tick down here, these final seconds. The Hokies of Virginia Tech have defeated the Hurricanes of Miami 21-7. And so for Terry Donahue, I'm Tim Ryan, returning you to Pat O'Brien in New York.
Have defeated the University of Miami Hurricanes on the score